too strong. It's going to be a rebound there by Brown. Brown gets it in. Bucket there by Alter.
Crossover for Jackson. Salas steals the rebound and finds a cutting Mitchell at the rim.
Great move.
It's almost even in the foul territory, and the Cueva looking to take advantage. Said Yates draws the foul, and one opportunity is said, gives the muscles down.
And it's 11-4, 38. Another turnover by Rio Grande. Montoya off the glass, up and in, back-to-back layups for the Demons.
Oh, was stolen away again by Valdez. Valdez going to bring it out.
Valdez has to have around 3 or 4 steals. 3 by Mays.
Bingo! That one rattles in for Alyssa Mays, and the All-District Player of the Year has 12.
Penetrates, no foul called. Rodriguez lines one up and knocks down the 3. First basket of the night.
For 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with Jeff Symbieta, A. Castillo, and JJ Buck.
A 26-year-old quarterback going into his prime says, I want out. Former MVP. Unique talent, unique skills. You'd think everybody would be saying, I want it. You'd think everybody would be clamoring. Everybody would be finding a way to find a way. Find a way to get in on the sweepstakes, and yet no one does. And the one team that feels like there's more noise around already seems committed to a guy 13 years older. What the heck is going on? And would he be better off with an agent because he represents himself? Lots going on in the NFL as the owners are together. That means they're all talking, or some of them are talking. The coaches are talking, and certainly Lamar talks with his thumbs. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Good morning to you. What's up?
What'd it do?
I'll do a lot. As we tick towards the Final Four in Houston this weekend, the NFL crawls back into the headlines, and it's quarterbacks, and it's always quarterbacks. We don't do this about anybody else. What was the highest profile player, non-quarterback, that we spend any time, let alone close to this kind of time, talking about free agency or trades or anything? Is there one
in the NFL?
Yeah, is it Odell? Is there any
No.
non-quarterback?
None of them impact the game like.
But it's just all quarterback all year, all the time, right?
Yes.
I don't even know that we do, unless it's a LeBron James or something, or Kevin Durant just got traded. It wasn't even that much. It's just quarterbacks. All right, so when we were on the air yesterday, the tweet came out, and Lamar Jackson said that he had asked for a trade from the Ravens back on March 2nd, and they haven't accommodated him yet, and so he's trying to expedite this. And so what does it all mean? And because the media on the national scale is just so East Coast, New York biased, I don't know, maybe I'm unique in this and you don't feel this way. We didn't talk about it in the pre-show meeting. But does it feel like every analyst saying, why aren't the Jets in on this? Because they're all Jets fans, or they're all based in New York?
I don't think it's just because they're based in New York. The Jets are desperate for a quarterback.
Yeah.
There are, right now, 2 quarterbacks on the market. Now, one of them has specifically said he wants to play for said team, but the other is available to kick the tires on.
Well, there's a couple of things on this, and you better be careful, okay? And it feels to me, and maybe I'm wrong, the Jets figured out what they were doing, at least for now. They were getting Aaron Rodgers. They went out and wooed it. Aaron Rodgers didn't pick up the phone from Brian Gutekunst, the Packers general manager, He's basically, well, not basically, he came out and said, I want to play for the Jets. And it feels like it's a done deal, even though it's not a done deal. They've got to figure out a trade and get the rights to Aaron Rodgers, who's under contract with the Packers. Now, Gutekunst yesterday came out and said, no. I mean, we don't need a first-round pick, which was interesting with Lamar on the market, because this shifts the dynamics in so many ways. But if you are the Jets and their general manager came out yesterday and said, we'd be negotiating, not negotiating in good faith if we got down this road. There's a couple of ways to look at this, but you got to be really careful. If you are the Jets, flat out, would you rather have? I mean, nothing else considered. Would you rather have Aaron Rodgers or would you rather have Lamar Jackson?
Lamar Jackson.
Okay, because he's 13 years younger. He's going into his prime. You figure you can get him for long term, right? Okay, now throw in the factors that you have to give up 2 number ones for Lamar Jackson. I'm not telling you it should sway you off or not. That he's going to be a long-term commitment at somewhere in the area of $200+ million guaranteed. Aaron Rodgers is going to cost you less to get. I don't know. It costs you less over the long term. You're going to have him for a year or two. Who do you want?
Lamar Jackson.
Okay, I think you're right.
Because in that case, you're putting it out, just trying to simply put 2 quarterbacks available. Who do you want? Well, I don't want to be in this situation in 3 years.
Or 2 years or next year. Or yes.
Aaron, that was fun. I'm glad we had that year with you. And now what do we do? Because we've given up some capital, made all this move for just this year, when you could have a guy that you're planning for it to work out. And the thing with Lamar Jackson is everyone assumes that it's not going to work out. And that's why you can't give a running quarterback that much money. You can't guarantee him that much money. But to me, I'm competitive over a longer window with Lamar Jackson than I am.
I think that's the right answer. You agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
First round picks, because you're investing in your quarterback of the future.
All right. So here's the other piece of it. You are, I mean, you're 8.5 months pregnant with Aaron Rodgers, aren't you?
Yep.
Yes.
I mean, give me a better analogy.
That's a good one. I haven't heard that one.
You're here. Right, and you've committed. You've gone down. You've wooed. You're at the aisle. Her dad's walked her down the aisle. You're at I do level, and everybody's assembled. And do you bail and just go? I can't do this and leave her at the altar. Right. My point is, if you're the Jets,
I always ask you right before if anyone has something to say.
Yeah.
Right.
And maybe the Baltimore Ravens do.
Okay, so here's the risk. Okay. Because I think the Jets are walking a fine line now. Okay? Couple of things. If they tender the offer, if the Jets get in the game, tender the offer, Ravens match, now they're going to go back to Rodgers. Rodgers is a diva, whether he wants to say he's a diva or not. And now all of a sudden, this team that wooed him, that came out to California once he emerged from the darkness, and spent those 4.5 hours with him and wooed him to the point where he wouldn't take the Packers phone call. Now he is fractured. Well, you don't really want me. You want her instead. How am I? And now, right, dude bails at the altar, and then comes back tomorrow and says, "No, baby, I'm sorry. I just got cold feet. I really want. I don't. Now what? Now what? Because the personality you're dealing with there. They're walking a fine line, aren't they?
Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm more and more on board with whatever happens with Lamar Jackson. I think it happens after the draft because teams can play a waiting game. I'm more in that camp than I ever was before, where teams can wait out the Ravens and use a first-round pick this year wherever they have it. There's been a lot of talk about the Indianapolis Colts.
Mm-hmm.
I do think the Atlanta Falcons are a real player in this, where they use their top 10 pick this draft and then revisit those conversations after.
Figure it won't be as good next year.
And here's the thing: first-round picks are awesome.
Mm-hmm.
The NFL is not made up of 99% of first-round picks, and so that's kind of the hard thing we get into. Is they're valuable and overvalued at the same time. It depends on the commodity that you're getting back. You feel like, how are you supposed to put a team together? Because you have 5 other picks in the draft,
and free agency,
and undrafted free agents. Look at the makeup of the NFL. The majority of the NFL is made up of players not in the first round.
Well, I would argue it this way. To go to the very top of the draft, who's your number one pick? C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young or whoever you think it is. Is Lamar Jackson better than that? Odds are 85% yes, right? I mean, are those soft odds? What are the odds Lamar Jackson is better than anybody in the first round? Long term. Pretty good, right?
Yes, pretty good odds. You've seen what he can
All right.
do.
Now
You
I
don't
got
know
to
what these other guys
I
can
got to
do.
give up 2 of them. Right, that hurts a little. But to your point, I'm getting that guy. Now, you know where I am with him. I think he's good. I don't think he's elite. I think he's really good, and he's a proven MVP. Seems like he's a good locker room guy. I don't know. I'd have to sit down with him and figure out what's going on. This whole no agent thing, I think he's making a mistake.
A miscalculation on his part.
I think he's making a mistake here. I just, there's a reason all these guys, not everybody, but most of them, Roquan Smith did not. But there's a reason most guys have representation, right? I mean, that's the expertise of what agents do. They negotiate, they understand this. And as smart as Lamar may be, I think he's making a mistake representing himself. And I think many people do. But that set aside, if you're the Jets, how are you playing this? You dipping your toe in that pool now, or because Rodgers will find out, right? And then and then all of a sudden, what if the Packers come back tomorrow or today and meet you on your trade demand, but you still kind of want Lamar, and now you're like,
No, they don't want Lamar. That's a fallback option.
Yeah.
You think Lamar's the fallback
Right now, because they're all in with Aaron Rodgers. To your point,
that's kind of my point.
Yeah,
here.
I don't see the Jets going.
And there's time.
Well,
there's time if
is there?
Yes, there is,
because they want to get the Rodgers thing done. Oh, we want him in the building. We want him in.
Okay, he's not going to be there. Aaron Rodgers is not going to be in the building. Aaron Rodgers ain't showing up for your practices over the summer.
He's going to his conferences, he said.
But I think more and more I'm leaning towards teams are going to wait this out, put some of the pressure back on Baltimore. And I think where a lot of this is coming from is I believe most of the NFL just assume that, while there's some back and forth between them all and the Ravens, that they were never going to let him go.
I still am kind of there, by the way. After listening to Jim Harbaugh yesterday, I'm still not convinced they're going to let him go. Okay, I that's another piece of this. All right, so I'll agree with you that there's time, except for the Jets. If the Jets want in, I don't think there's time, because if they've been in negotiations with the Packers, and the Packers just got a little bit more motivated if they want to get rid of Rodgers, and it feels like they do. I feel like they got a little bit more motivated to make this happen. And I think that they now come back to the Jets and try to move this thing. You think I'm wrong on that?
I think the Packers are done, so they're going to want to come back and work on that trade regardless.
Yeah, and I think it's been going, and now all of a sudden I think the Jets go, well, hold on a minute. There's time for everybody to me but the Jets. Like, if to your point, if you're the Falcons, okay. I think ultimately, I don't think he moves. I think, look, Kevin Durant requested a trade, didn't he? Did we spend all last season, off season, where's Kevin Durant going? The Nets said, yeah, we're not trading you, dude. We're not getting a value for you. It doesn't behoove us. Now, they traded him mid-season. But didn't we just go through this with a superstar in the offseason in the NBA? What's the Ravens' motivation to trade him? He didn't want to be there?
Contract.
And money.
They control the asset, right?
Right.
I mean, are you convinced he's gone?
Yes.
See, I'm not. I'm just not. I know he says he wants. Are you convinced he's gone?
Am I convinced? No.
Yeah, I'm not either. I'm not. And it won't surprise me anymore. Where, 2 days ago it would have surprised me. But I'm not convinced. But we'll see. There's a ton of NFL stuff going on. We're going to get into that, what it all means, and who goes where, and quarterback carousel now, right? And how does your team get him? If you're the Falcons, if you are I don't know, who else wants him? I mean, I've heard Cowboys should get in on this, and everybody
There's
else.
a big old list. Patriots, even the Vikings.
Yeah, the Patriots thing is interesting.
Lions.
Yeah, the Patriots
I've heard
one. Yeah.
Every scenario.
Yeah, with Meek Mill trying to get in and trying to.
Don't sleep on that Patriots one. The rest are just, I think,
kind of agree with
teams and fan bases throwing it out there because Bill Belichick loved Cam Newton for his entire career.
Mm-hmm. No,
he's fascinated with that type of quarterback.
I think you're right, actually. And it makes a ton of sense if it goes up there. All right, 505-246-0610. 505-246-0610. That is the 377 Brewery hotline. It is also our text line. You can send emails, Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com, JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. So here's what we're going to do today. Coming up at 9 o'clock, and be with us at 9, we're going to talk to the new commissioner of the Mountain West Conference. Gloria Nevadas is going to be with us. She's been commissioner for about 3 months, and she's going to the Final Four. There's been so much talk about what the San Diego State run means for the league and what it means financially, and we'll get into that. But she's going to join us at 9 o'clock, and we're going to talk to her about her thoughts on the expansion and what it means. There's also been a lot of talk about San Diego State leaving and just where, she's not going to give you the details, but where are the talks on plans and just kind of some ideas of what the league may look like going into the future. I think you'll enjoy the conversation with Gloria Nevadas. That's coming up at 9 o'clock. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
How wrestling really works. And
we would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With your coverage from U.S. Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At U.S. Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future and get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at U.S. Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with U.S. Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with U.S. Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what?
Seth?
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Talk about this because the deal would already be done and he'd be a quarterback for somebody. Maybe.
No. Because it still comes down to what he's asking for.
I mean, if it's his number's got to budge. Ryan says you can't really be traded at this point. Go find someone that wants you on your own. Figure it out. The Ravens aren't going to lift a finger. The only way he can be traded is saying the Ravens are willing to accept less than 2 first-round picks. I just don't see that happening at all. Right? I mean, Ravens aren't going to give away this.
Well, he can sign his franchise tag, and then they're free to negotiate whatever deal for Lamar after that.
The Ravens are.
From any team. Like, it's not just the only reason it's 2 first-round picks is if they sign him to an offer sheet, an opposing team. But Lamar could go to the Baltimore and say, hey, I'll sign this franchise tag if you guys work out a trade for me, and then they could get whatever assets back they wanted more than
the 2 first-round picks. Yeah. Yes. Then that would be a trade, right? To let him go, the 2 first-round picks that everybody's talking about is if someone offers him an offer, signs him to an offer sheet, offers and he signs an offer sheet, and they don't match it, and so then he goes to Atlanta, let's say. They get their 2 first-round pick, the next 2 first-round picks. Yes, that's how that would play out.
And doesn't that seem like the better deal too? If you're a team,
if you're who,
if you actually really want Lamar Jackson, instead of waiting and then getting caught in a negotiating game where it could cost more than just 2 first-round picks, like that seems like the better value in all this. Is hey, just here's 2 first-round picks. Fantastic. Then you keep your second-round pick, third round, all that stuff.
And then you send your number and you match your number, or you put your number up there. I imagine, it depends on who it is. I like if you're Atlanta, what do you think you're sending Baltimore for Lamar Jackson if you trade?
Because it's going to be multiple number ones. You can probably have a 2 in there.
You're probably going to throw
3
your
involved.
In there. You think it's going to be that
the
much?
next couple of years.
What was
26 years old? And
yeah, no,
I don't care if he's not Patrick Mahomes. He's a dude that's going to give you a chance to compete in games.
So I'm looking for a comp, and I'm going to Russell Wilson.
That is not the comp.
Why wasn't it? He was 31 years old. He was 5 years older, but he was kind of considered this. I know he's not now. Give me a comp trade then.
There's not.
All right, so can we look at the Russell Wilson trade, because I'm going to use it as a comp? What did they give for Russell Wilson?
A lot of picks.
That's all my point is. That's where I'm going.
A lot of money.
I'm trying to make your point.
And he made a lot of money.
Yeah, but
and I think that's what's scaring teams off is they're like, well, if you had to give up that for Russell Wilson, Lamar Jackson is worth more.
That's why I was just trying to solidify your point with that. And so if you don't even think it's comparable, and you look at what Denver had to give up to get Russell Wilson in a trade, a guy who, what was he, 31 at the time? He wasn't that old, was he? Was he 31? Yeah. So you gave up two firsts, a second, a tight end, a quarterback, right? I mean, you gave up a ton of stuff to get this guy you thought was your franchise changer. And now all of a sudden, here's another guy who's in his prime that we all believe is better than that guy. So to JJ's point, instead of a trade, the way to do this is the offer sheet. Now, does he have to sign the franchise tag before other teams can come out and start making offers?
No.
So
no, not if only if it's. So I'm sorry. If he signs a franchise tag,
which he has not yet,
the Ravens could trade him for whatever. Like they could then say, "Hey, here's Lamar Jackson. Give us."
Right. No, I
4
understand that.
first-round picks.
I understand that.
It's only if they don't match an offer sheet.
But okay. But for the offer sheet, we keep hearing about the offer sheet. Yeah. So does he have to sign the tag before? No. So now that they said they're going to,
that's why people are kind of scratching their head.
Okay.
Is teams can come and negotiate and talk with Lamar right now and be like, "Hey, Lamar."
That's what I thought was holding this up.
No, he doesn't have to sign anything with Baltimore because that
would
mean
once they make it known, once they declare that we are putting him on the non-exclusive tag, here's going to be his number, even whether he signs that tag or not, now anybody else can come out.
If he signs that tag, he's quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens.
Well, I think this kind of tells you where the market is on him. I mean, to your point, if somebody wants him, it is going to be way cheaper to get him. Now, not cheaper to sign him, but cheaper to acquire him.
But if you love your picks, that's it. It's 2. And you got your second rounders, you got your third rounders most likely if you're done solid business.
You're right. And like Ryan just said, JJ just hit my point. That's the minimum he gets traded for. So why would it be a trade?
And I think some of this too is the NFL's making a statement as well. They're playing their business side of the game, going, we're not doing this type of deal. And other owners, they're so mad at the Haslams in Cleveland.
That's right.
That they're not jumping into this $250 plus guaranteed money.
Well, and I think that in part is why if he had an agent, maybe this would help him, right? Yeah. I mean, this is, he's so, and maybe he wouldn't budge anyway. Maybe he would just tell his agent, no, man, $250 or nothing. And if that's where he is, and look, he hasn't said that publicly, and maybe it's $230 or not guaranteed, but he may go down to, all right, I'll guarantee me $220, but I want incentives up to $290. I don't know where it is. And there's plenty of people saying, "Why? What would an agent do for him?" Well, what does an agent do for all these guys? This is what they do. This is and it keeps you out of the fray. Now, maybe he likes being in the fray. You're saying, "Well, Jeff, what fray's he in?" He thumbs out a tweet every 4 weeks, whatever, right?
There's actually quiet these days.
We put one out yesterday, right? But
I mean, every 4 weeks is like,
no.
radio silence.
But isn't that about what he does? I mean, he's not out there every day.
No.
So, and I appreciate that. I don't like negotiating anything through the press or through social media.
What happened yesterday was as calculated as it gets.
Well, of course.
Let's throw some more lighter fluid on this fire at
just as the
NFL owners meeting to see what happens.
Of course. Just as the owners meetings are convening, of course it was. But I to your point, if someone wants him, how long do you have till July? What is it? July 17th? Is that right? For them to negotiate and for teams to be able to throw an offer sheet out there?
Yes.
All right.
It's around that time.
Yeah. Ray-Marie, I'm not nearly as convinced as you are that he will not be a Raven. I know it I don't know. I've just watched things go from sour to not sour. Kevin Durant was gone and gone and gone. And I know it's a different league and it's a different cat and it's a different thing, but I don't know. I'm not convinced. First of all, I'm not convinced if someone puts an offer sheet, the Ravens don't match it. They control the asset and then they can trade it. Right now, all of a sudden, I know Atlanta wants it. All right, I'll tell you what, we're going to match it. But if you want it, you're going to come through us. Not to piss him off, but whatever. I got to protect my assets as well, right?
Yep.
All right, 505-246-0610. Now that the Lobos house seems to be in order, what is next for Lobo basketball as far as the roster? We're going to tell you. We're going to go through that. That's coming up next. Dr. Stephen Coleman Vision did LASIK on my eyes back in 2003. I know it seems like a long, long time ago, right? You'd think, oh, well, did you have to get a tune-up or something? No. Changed my life then. It's changed my life still. I was doing the morning news over Channel 13, getting up at 3 in the morning, going in at 4, wearing my glasses, putting my contacts in before the show. It was miserable. So I went over, and I've been wearing glasses since I was a kid. I mean, I'm 16 years old when I first got a car. I remember wearing glasses to drive at night. And went over, and I was diagnosed with a high degree of astigmatism. And that's what he specializes in, using LASIK to correct astigmatism, and it changed my life. I went in at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I had a short surgery. I closed my eyes for 30 minutes, woke up, and it was immediate. I could see across the room. I immediately noticed the difference. I wear reading glasses now just because you do as time goes on. But other than that, I mean, it's still life-changing. Dr. Coleman's in on the latest technology that's used not only here in Albuquerque, but around the world. He's been in on it from the beginning. It originated Sandia Labs. People come from all over the country to get their LASIK done at Coleman Vision. You'll understand why the second you walk in the door. You're going to understand what's going on. It's just first class, warm, friendly, and he'll tell you straight up, if you're not a candidate, he's not going to just go perform some surgery. He's going to give you something else, another idea of what to do. I would highly suggest this. Highly suggest it. It changed my life, and I think it can change yours. If you're thinking about LASIK, if you're thinking about ditching lenses and glasses, there's only one spot, and it's Stephen Coleman, Coleman Vision. 505-821-8880. Area code 505-821-8880. Or you can go online at colemanvision.com.
Too strong. It's going to be a rebound there by Brown. Brown gets it in. Bucket there by Alter.
Crossover for Jackson. Salas steals the rebound and finds a cutting Mitchell at the rim.
Great move.
It's almost even in the foul territory, and the Cueva looking to take advantage. Said Yates draws the foul, and one opportunity is said, gives the muscles down.
And it's 11-4, 38. Another turnover by Rio Grande. Montoya off the glass, up and in, back-to-back layups for the Demons.
Was stolen away again by Valdez. Valdez is going to bring it out.
Valdez has to have around 3 or 4 steals. 3 by Mays.
Bingo! That one rattles in for Alyssa Mays, and the All-District Player of the Year has 12.
Penetrates, no foul call. Rodriguez lines one up and knocks down the 3. First basket of the night.
Back it out.
Look at this deep 3.
Wow! That was from NBA range.
What a steal. Stevison 2-on-1. Gets up. Gets it in.
He doesn't use it. Comes back out to Dominguez, who takes the 3. Boom! There's that man, Superman.
Turns, shoots off. Oh, wow. He made that.
Wow. That was crazy. That was a crazy shot.
Has everybody on him. Now he got open.
Open look for a 3, and that's what he does. A 3 for Denaclaw. His first bucket of the game. And that's a 3, and it'll count at the buzzer.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do.
Now, the portal go to portal, but it feels like, at least for a minute, there might be a little stability. Lobo's house. in regards to what the roster may or may not look like moving forward, at least in regards to the guys who were there last year. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck. So yesterday while we were on the air, and this was, again, J.J., not a surprise, I think a guy that you kind of like, Barima Seck, the 6'11" big man from Senegal, put his name in the transfer portal. 5th scholarship player from last year to go into the portal. And we talked about yesterday that there were the stories over the weekend that Jalen House, Jamal Mashburn, Donovan Dent were all coming back. And Jalen House did put out a tweet yesterday, basically said, I'm back. So I think that made Lobo fan feel better. Jamal said after the final NIT game, right, I'm coming back. I don't know if we've heard anything official, right, from Donovan, but word is Donovan Dent's coming back. So you feel good about that, right?
You do.
Okay. Morris Udez's gone. Josiah Alex gone. I did listen to part of Grammar's podcast yesterday, and it was interesting. KJ Jenkins, Javante Johnson are all in the transfer portal. So at what point does Lobo fan start to get itchy and nervous? Well, who are we getting? And we're going to miss out on this guy. Because you're going to see, and I'm just going to tell you, it's not going to be over the next couple of weeks. It's going to be over the next 3 to 4 months that there will be chatter in regards to players in the transfer portal, correct?
That is correct.
All right. And so patience is something that no fan has anyway. Right? It's just not something that fans have. I think Lobo fan might have to have a little bit of patience to see what this roster looks like when you hit the court next year.
Yes. And as you start to get more and more comfortable with the process, you look at the situation, there's over 1,000 players in the transfer portal, plenty of guys to talk to, a lot of opportunities.
All right. So what are there, 5 Lobos, former Lobos now? Emmanuel Quach, KJ Jenkins, Javante Johnson, Josiah Alec, and Barima Seck. You got so the window's open March 13th through May 11th. But JJ, once the window closed, that's just for guys to get in, right?
That is correct.
All right. So you're still able to talk to guys who are in and have them commit. As of yesterday Monday, yeah, there were more than 1,000 names. That's 1,000 players on the Division I transfer pages. That's the verbal commits. Really is good at this. Where do the Lobos stand? And this is where I know a lot of you are losing your mind. What's going on and what's going on here and what's wrong and what did we do? And I just keep having to tell you this is just the way it's going to be. It's not just going to be this year. I know we got those texts and these emails, JJ, that said, well, next year it better stable. It better become more stable. It's not going to, man. So let me just give you this. There are 1,763 names last year in the portal. 1,763. That accounts for basically 5 transfers per team of every Division I program. There's 363 Division I programs. So you're right on the number. I know it's uncomfortable. I know you like it. I know, but you like it when Morris Udeze came in, right? You like it when Jamal Mashburn comes in, and that's where you've got to start looking. And again, I'm not going to tell you how to be a fan, right? I mean, you can be upset. It sucks when guys that you like leave. I get that. And we'll go back to that conversation. You know, who are the players who have left that have made the biggest impact? And you told me Elijah Brown or Anthony Mathis, or I will stand on this firmly. And I think you're with me on this. The Lobos have benefited over the years way more from the portal dudes coming in than they have been affected negatively by guys leaving.
Yeah, they've lost rotation players. This year was the first year where there was a legitimate shock, and that was Josiah Alec. It's just like, that's a locked-in starter. Dude's going to bring it. It wasn't even penciling him. Fans were, that's a Sharpie in the lineup. Josiah Alec next year.
Yeah, and that's only because of the COVID year, right? I mean, that's really the only reason. It's interesting, and it's depressing, and it's while it's exciting, it's nerve-wracking all at the same time. But everybody's in it, man. Everybody's in it. And you can bet even the teams that are playing the Final Four, they've been scouring the portal. Like, look, San Diego State's made up of this. And, they play this.
Fight it off now.
What do you mean? Oh, yeah, they're trying to fight dudes off because everybody wants to go there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they're trying to. FAU, their coach was like, "Yeah, don't be calling our players right now.
Oh yeah,
we don't like, let us finish this tournament, and then
you can call
that's
our
a good
players.
example. Look at the Final Four right now. Jeez.
Well, I mean,
transfer portal is changing the landscape of college basketball.
Done changed.
I mean, come on. Look at March Madness is a perfect example this year. Come on.
It's changed. I want to get into the narrative. We always want to say that people want everybody to have a chance. And I was listening to the national talking heads yesterday talk about I don't care. I don't care about these teams. I don't care about San Diego State or Florida. I don't care. If you told me I'd watch Florida Atlantic and San Diego State and Tony Kornheiser, during the season, I told you to get out of my house. Which is such the national brand.
Weird.
Right on, right? It's I don't care because I don't know. And if I don't know, then it can't be any good. And I would challenge Tony Kornheiser or any other national guy who feels that way. Who do you want to see? Well, I want to see I want to see Kentucky. And you say, name me 3 guys on any of those teams too. Right? Colin Coward on our air yesterday was talking about, I don't really care. I peripherally watch them, but everybody can name 3 guys on any NBA team, but you can't really name it. You can't name 3 guys on UCLA probably.
No.
You probably can't. Give me 3 guys on Kentucky.
Unless it's your team.
Right. Can you give me 3 guys that play for North Carolina or Duke? I just, because there's 363 college basketball teams. And
I mean, JJ might be able to.
Right. No, and the people who really, really follow it can, right? The Jerry Palms, the Jeff Goodmans of the world really can. Right. But I've been listening to this and, well, the tournament's great until, well, the teams I don't want aren't in it. I mean, I don't know. We used to complain about the San Antonio Spurs being in the NBA Finals. People did. Well, they're boring. I want to see. Everybody's got what they want to see. But when I've been listening to this conversation, well, I don't care. I don't know who these teams are. You don't know who anybody. You just know the name on the front of the jersey. You don't know any of these guys. Bottom line is, Florida Atlantic beat beat Kansas State to get here, right? Florida Atlantic beat Tennessee. They beat who they beat in the first round? Memphis. San Diego State beat Alabama. You think I'm wrong on that? They wouldn't know. If you'd have switched uniforms from Carolina or Duke and San Diego State.
For some reason, it's the lowest. There's a few things. It's like the go-to if you're on a national radio show. You have to say something sucks.
Yes.
Like that's got to be one of the first things that you say. And if it's not in a big city, you have to minimize it because, well, if it's not happening in LA or New York, then it doesn't matter to anyone.
That's right. No, and it's just, yes, you're 100% right. All right, 2 lines open at 505-246-0610. Brian, you're on the Sports Animal. Good morning, Brian.
Hey, good morning, Jeff. Thanks for taking my call. Hey, the transfer portal, I kind of see some positives out of it. I think it's going to help level the playing field in D1 basketball. I think some of the smaller conferences are going to be able to get, and like you said earlier, the Lobos have benefited from this. I mean, there's only so many spots on a basketball team, and these kids want to play. That's one of their main goals is to get seen, get some film, and maybe not go to the NBA, but maybe go to Europe.
Or maybe go to the NBA. Danny Granger and J.R. Giddens used the transfer portal way before it was like this and came here and went to the NBA.
So do you see where I'm going with that?
I do.
Where I think it's going to help kind of level the field and these big name colleges that are traditionally have all the blue chippers. They can't keep all the blue chippers all the time because these kids want to play.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. Brian, don't be a stranger. Good to hear you, and thanks for the call. Brian called at 505-246-0610. Chad, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. What's up, Chad?
Hey, yeah, just a couple things. Just listening to you guys talking about these. I think the NCAA March Madness this year, the Final Four, it's awesome. It's kind of what the whole you know, you watch it, you always see Duke, you always see Kentucky, North Carolina, and the beauty of it is seeing somebody like Fairleigh Dickinson beat a team like Purdue with a 7'4" guy that looks like he can swallow the whole team, you know? And it brings in fans that, he looks like Andre the Giant out there, that guy. He was huge.
Yeah.
And my wife who doesn't watch, she doesn't watch basketball, and she's sitting there and she's all of a sudden into March Madness and finally gets March Madness, you know, and is like, this is awesome, you know, and I think that's what it's about. You're used to seeing all the other teams.
Yep. And you can watch them all year, by the way. Every night, they're Duke is Duke. They're on TV more than Leave It to Beaver reruns. They're on every damn night. I can watch it every night. Give me something. And these teams earned it, by the way. I don't need to see Carolina every damn year in UCLA. You got UConn, but now you got all these other stories. Learn something. Step out of your damn comfort zone, and don't tell me just because you don't know about it isn't any good.
Hey, and one other thing, I just want to say, Josiah Allick, with the transfer portal, we love Josiah Allick. I even got my wife a Josiah Allick jersey. We love him. We know what he brings to the team. He brought a great attitude, great spirit, effort. It was awesome. We love him. When I first heard that he was in the transfer portal, my initial reaction before hearing about the story with Grammer was, you know, when you actually look at him kind of objectively, there wasn't a lot of offense generated. You know, there's times where you're like, okay, he's not really a threat with the ball. Maybe Pitino had a talk with him and said, hey, you know, we love you. You know, we love what you bring, but we also might bring in somebody who's going to generate a little more offense and be a dual threat, like a partner with Morris Udeze, who could actually, so guys, when he's double teamed, you have another guy that could be a threat. And that's what I thought initially.
I think you're right, Chad. No.
You know,
no, Chad, appreciate your call. And don't be a stranger, Chad. Thanks. All right. He brings me into somewhere I want to go. And why are guys leaving? There's two sides to a story, okay? And it's not what have we done? What did we do to upset you? What did we do? Why are you leaving? I'm gonna explain to you the other side of the story and why guys sometimes leave. That's coming up next.
And I'm going to tell you about 377 Brewery. I don't know if you haven't been. I tell you about it every day on the radio. You got to get over there if you haven't been there. The events keep getting better and better. And their newest event is brunch. Everyone loves brunch. They have a big, beautiful event space, a beautiful patio with heaters. It's amazing. You got to check it out. They have all your breakfast favorites, and it's almost 100% scratch kitchen. I'm telling you, their food matches their beers, cocktails. And for brunch, they have it at Mimosa and Bloody Mary Bar. You got to get over there to 377 Brewery. It's located on the northwest corner of Yale and Gibson, very, very conveniently located by the airport, the base, the labs, the university area. You got to get over there brunch. Bring the family. It's family friendly. It's pet friendly. Check them out again, 377 Brewery on the northwest corner of Yale and Gibson, or check them out at 377brewery.com.
This report.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future and get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
All right, conversations work two ways. And there's been a lot of jilted lovers, and I understand that. Why would he leave? Why would he leave? Why would he leave? And each year, players have conversations after the season with coaches, JJ. It's the opening drive, Jeff, JJ, and Marie. And these conversations go, okay, where do you see me next year? Where do I see you next year? What do you want your role to be? Here's what I want your role to be. And sometimes players just realize, man, I got recruited over. I'm not going to get the playing time I want. I'm not going to get to grow. And sometimes coaches suggest, yeah, you're not going to get the playing time you want. You're not going to get to grow. And you might be better somewhere else. And I know you don't want to hear that, and sometimes it's uncomfortable. Why would they not want this player? I love this player. Why wouldn't they tell this player he's going to? Well, because they're trying to be honest with him. And writing's on the wall. We're recruiting a guy to play your position. We think he's better than you, and he's going to get more time. You might be better off somewhere else. It's the reality of this whole thing.
That happens. I think that happened with KJ Jenkins and Javonte Johnson.
100%, I think so.
Deshaun Alec, listening to his podcast with Jeff Grammer, it's just sound here. For one, I appreciate the dude talking.
Yep.
As he doesn't have to say anything, he could just let whatever be thrown out there, let everyone assume and guess. He was open. He was fantastic, talking all season long after wins and losses.
Yeah, I was in the locker when he was crying, and he gave me.
And you know that firsthand when we've been there post game for it. So he understands his role in that regards. This one, it sounds like all season he was frustrated, which was very interesting to me when you look at the makeup of this team. because at the end of the year, Rich Pitino did say he wasn't pleased with how stagnant the offense got.
That's right.
Maybe some too much one-on-one basketball, which is understandable. But I still think, as much as people like Josiah Alec, there's still, like our last caller, is scratching his head a little bit.
A little limitations, though.
Yeah, like, well,
I know, but I think all credit to him for putting his head down and grinding, being a stud, and playing his butt off all season long. If he wasn't, if that's what was going on. Hank, thanks for holding. You're on the Sports Animal. Good morning, Hank.
Good morning. How you doing?
Good. What's happening?
I think you really hit the nail on the head. By saying players are just going to self-evaluate themselves and picture themselves at another school where they can just play a bigger role.
Yep.
That's just the bottom line. I mean, everybody wants to get on the court, and you're going to have some players that are maybe coming off the bench at a nice big school that could see themselves as a starter at another nice school. Maybe they're short on guards coming back or whatever the case might be. And, I think it goes even as deep as starters possibly thinking if they're not getting as many touches or plays run for them or whatever the case might be, and they want to play a bigger role. So it's opened up a can of worms that I think is going to be awesome for parity and make some of these big-time coaches like from Duke and whatnot have to coach a little bit harder to keep up or dominate like they used to. I think those days are probably over.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Hank. Thank you. So there's a couple things there. I think Duke and UCLA and Kentucky and North Carolina and pick them are always going to get their pick of athletes and throw the NIL in there and what who's got a best collectives and what they've got to offer. But JJ, what I think is shown, and Amory, where are we? Am I right up against it? Right. So I'm gonna hold the next caller through the break. What it's shown is you don't have to go to UCLA to get to the Final Four. You don't have to go to Carolina or Duke, right? Or Kentucky. Florida Atlantic's there. Miami's never been there. San Diego State's never been there. You guys keep using the word parity, and you're right. But I think the bottom line is, A, relationships, and B, where do I fit? Where am I going to get the best opportunity? And opportunity is gotten a more broad definition. NIL, opportunity to play, opportunity to grow as a player and a person. And you don't have to get it right the first time. It's kind of what the portal's been about, right?
It is. There's also a fine line in that, even as a player.
100%.
Because someone's got to come off the bench somewhere.
All right, we're going to talk to Mountain West Commissioner Gloria Nevarez at 9 o'clock this morning. Talk to her about where this league is, what San Diego State's run means to them, and talk to her about the future and what does it look like. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Shut up, go!
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at U.S. Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with U.S. Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with U.S. Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With your covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Have an interesting conversation about the portal and why guys go in it. How do you benefit from it? How do you use it? And bottom line is, you better figure it out because it's not going away. 5 Lobos, now former Lobos, in the portal. You will get guys from the portal. You'll find a three-point shooter. I'm certain you'll find a guy to shoot threes. I'm certain you'll find a couple of bigs. I'm certain you'll find a long wing defender.
Jeff, we had that. We lost a three-point shooter.
Oh, yeah? How good was he?
We lost the wing player.
Did you?
We had a big.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Right? And do you want to get better? Or you want to be what you are? And that's what it is, right? I firmly believe that you have conversations with players. Well, I know this. And coaches are going to be honest. And the guy who's been here 3 years and has been a starter and has been good and everybody likes him. He's been a great, great individual. And Javonte Johnson, right? I mean, who doesn't like Javonte Johnson? It's hard not to like Javonte Johnson. He's a nice player. He's getting recruited over. And I'm going to guess, and I wasn't there and I don't know this, right? But the conversation goes, Javonte Nix is probably your 7th, 8th guy, right?
Question with Javonte is, was he not aggressive enough? Did the offense float better? And are they getting a more athletic wing? That would be the case. Because for me, I look at someone like Javonte Johnson, and I understand the frustration. You know, even hearing Josiah Alec, like, hey, I thought my role was going to be bigger in the offense, and it wasn't. Like, even with all that said, you're still going to have role players on your team.
That's right.
We're talking about opportunity, going to start somewhere. Like, you still have dudes are going to have to sit on the bench. Someone's going to have to be the 6th, 7th person in the game.
100%.
So who's ever going to accept that role?
It's a tough one to accept, right? When I can go in the portal and I'll find somewhere where I can play. I know. It's hard to accept it when you've been a starter too, right? A 3-year starter. Did he start his first year? Paul? I think he did, right? 3-year starter and say, hey, you're going to be our 6th, 7th guy. I mean, that's got to be hard to eat going into your last year or 2 years. Jess, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. What's up?
Good morning. You know, college basketball, like everything else, is evolving, and it's evolved. You know, think about the NBA back in the day when there was no free agency, or other sports that had no free agency in professional. You basically were stuck. If you were unhappy that the team you were drafted with, you know, that's where you stayed.
Deal with it.
You know, people played. Yeah, you dealt with it in the 60s and 70s, right? Unless you got traded, you dealt with it. And college basketball, and the power has shifted. Even, you know, professional sports, I think owners back then used to have all the power. You know, they controlled players. There was no free agency. Players couldn't demand trades. There wasn't anything like that. There was no player control. Even the money was more owner side. That shifted in the NBA. Players have a lot more control than they ever had. Through collective bargaining, free agency. Even if a player's unhappy, he can leave. College basketball, it wasn't like that for the longest time. The schools and those coaches, especially those blue blood coaches for those schools, pretty much had 100% control of a player, right? That player could basically sit for 2 or 3 years. You didn't want to sacrifice having to leave, to eat a couple years, and you don't know. And, players had no control in college. Now it's shifted again.
Yep.
Now players can make money. They have control. They can leave if they want to. They don't have to sit out. And you can see what it's done to the tournament. I think that this would have been like this in the 70s, 80s, and 90s if players would have had control. The tournament wouldn't have been Duke and all. I think it would have been much more wide open because that's just how it is. And I think as humans, we should have that control to be happy and make bad decisions.
Yeah.
Some of these kids, it's not going to work out for them. That's fine.
Yes. No,
at least they have the freedom to do that.
Yeah, you're right. No, Jess, good to hear you. Thanks. It's not going to work for everybody, dude.
100%. And I'm on board with this. One-time free transfer, the movement, it benefits players and it benefits schools. Are there misses in this? Absolutely. As there is in everything you do in sports, in business, things are going to hit, things are going to miss. Where the challenge is for these coaches, there's always an athlete for them to get. Like there's always going to be a player you can bring in. It's going to be the balance of it though now, because you do have to have a sixth man. You do have to have players committed to their role. And I think that's actually the most challenging thing in this is being able to build a team that can go on a run like we're seeing, not to the Final Four, but when you look at San Diego State, like they got dudes coming off the bench that are fine with their roles. Winning basketball games.
Seniors, by the way.
Like older
Seniors,
guys.
yeah.
That's the challenge in this is being able to find that balance of, hey, you understand you want to play, you want to start, but who's going to help you contribute to winning over the long haul in a season?
Robert, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Robert.
Good morning, you guys. Good morning. Hey, I got two things. Just want to start with San Diego. Wow, what an organization, man. How great is that story? I was lucky enough to be their coach driver when they were here playing against UNM. Got to meet these grown children. These guys are huge. so respectful. I mean, these guys were awesome. Every time they get in and off the bus, they were just so respectful. Appreciate you, fist bumping. What a great story for me just to be around that. And these guys are doing what they're doing now. How incredible is that?
That's really that's refreshing to hear, man. That's really cool.
Yeah. And then I'm a big Celtics fan. I love basketball. I watch every single game, and just the fight for the Eastern Conference. Yeah. These last 10 games. Oh my God! I hope everybody's watching this. This is incredible stuff. I know you guys talk a lot of football and stuff right now, but this basketball season right now is incredible. Yeah. It's incredible. Hey, again, I just wanted to say thank you guys for everything you do. Fatso.
Thanks, Robert. See you. And it's good to hear. You hear a lot about culture, right? And Ted Leitner, the voice of San Diego State, was with us last week, and he talked about the culture that Steve Fisher and Brian Dutcher built there for a decade, 2 decades, 2.5 decades. And there's something to be said. Now, I'll give you this. The Lobo basketball team, the men's basketball team this year, and I spent more time with them than the women. You were around the women, but they're that. The quality of young men was that. The time I've spent with them on the road when I get to do a few games for Rob in November and we're around them, those guys are that. To hear that the culture around this Final Four San Diego State team, a guy who drives the bus, and those are the guys who know now. How do you treat the bus driver?
It's the little interactions.
Yeah,
they're important. I see it all year long.
Yeah,
and how you interact with the bus driver, what you do in checking into the hotel, like stuff matters, man. It's just being a good person too. That's where it starts.
100%. No, that's a really cool call. Thanks. Hey, Manny, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Manny.
Good morning. I don't know how I'm going to be able to follow up Robert's call, man. He had a lot of energy there.
Oh, man, PU. You're good. What's up?
Right? Hey, Jeff, JJ, Josiah Alec, good kid. Good, can play some good D, at times. His energy was really, really terrific for us. But there was a reason why he was wide open, and I could see Coach Pitino, probably letting him know, hey, man, we got somebody coming in, or we're going to be recruiting for this. You guys are 100% correct. The portal's good for college. I like it. Hey, what do we have in the Final Four? You know, although our Lobos beat SDSU in SDSU and came pretty close down here, that's where we want to be. That's the program that we need to be. You go 4 deep coming off the bench. That shows a lot. That's why they're able to play defense like they do. I don't care if they win ugly or pretty. It's a win.
It's a really good point.
And that's what they're probably going to get into the national championship game on Monday. But, you know, I have a quick story to tell you guys. I was at the Davilo Center one morning, one day after the Boise State game here in Albuquerque. And it was a late game. I think it was an overtime game.
Yeah.
All the guys from the Lobos were just hanging out. There was 2 guys hitting shots up in the Davilo Center. Jamal Mashburn, Eddie House, just putting shots up. Shots. And I watched them for probably 45 minutes, and they were just shooting jumpers. Yeah. I'm like, wow.
It's who works.
Interesting.
Yeah, it tells you a lot, doesn't it?
Putting work in.
Yeah, thanks, Manny. Great call. Don't be a stranger. You know what? This is really cool today, too. We're hearing a lot of new voices today, which I really, really like. And Manny and all you guys, thank you so much for taking the time to be a part of the show and share your thoughts with us. I know A-Marie and JJ and I really, really appreciate you taking the time and sharing your thoughts and spending your mornings with us. It means a lot. And thank you. Love hearing all these new voices. You go sit around the gym in off hours. You learn a lot, JJ. You know, and does it surprise you those 2 guys are putting in the extra work? Hardly. Now, I'm not going to tell you that means the other guys don't. That's what he saw. I'm sure the other guys are putting in work other times. But what did he say right after the Boise State game, late night game? Who's in the gym putting up shots? And it's those guys. You know, the story Cam Bairstow, this is legends, right? Cam Bairstow became a legend around here because after the game, he would play 37 minutes in his senior year. And, you know, we're waiting for him in the press room. Where's Cam? Oh, he's in the gym. He's lifting weights, right? Guy after the game is going to work out. He became legendary for working out, doing the extra stuff. Yeah, that's what it takes. He made one point, and I don't know that I've really equated this before. I don't even know if he meant to make the point. So what is San Diego State known for? What the basketball? What do they do?
They play defense.
Okay. They're 9 deep. He's right. JJ, when Brian Dutcher subs 4 guys at a time. You know, Jeff Van Gundy was kidding, and I've used this line on the air before, too. It made a line change, right? When you can go 9 deep and not drop off, I mean, do you have a big drop off when they go, let's just say, from Mensah and Keyshawn Johnson to a Rope and Parrish, or you know they don't,
but that's the challenge fresh. I'm talking about.
Yeah, they're fresh
because we have a bunch of dudes saying they don't want to do that.
Right. No, I'm emphasizing your point.
And it's like you understand because I keep hearing, oh, they're recruited over, but then someone's gonna have to be on the bench.
Yeah, you're right.
What bench guys are recruiting? And then you look at Webb, Applehans.
Mm-hmm.
So I think those are young, hungry guys because they didn't play. One of them redshirted. That they had to deal with an injury.
Yeah, maybe Forsling develops.
Going to get minutes on the wing to be those rotation players.
Yep.
Toppin in Washington. Like you're going to have to give young guys.
No, that's right.
Running in the rotation next year, you know, to build that. Depth.
Otherwise, they gone. Yeah. I think the depth is there, but one of the biggest reasons San Diego State, and they've always been relatively deep, not this good deep, but they've always been, you know, good solid 8 deep, right? One of the reasons you're able to play defense at that high intensity is because everybody didn't have to play for 38 minutes. And they've got that depth. And I don't know, I mean, it's such an obvious point, but I don't know that it ever slapped me in the face like that. And Manny just talking about that. Loving the new voices and keep them coming at 505-246-0610. That's the 377 Brewery hotline. You can come in at Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com on the email, JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. I'll get you some of what you're saying on the email as well. And, Tani, did you see the number that Shohei is getting shown? Show him the money. How much? Next on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Dell Technologies.
Too strong. going to be a rebound there by Brown. Brown gets it in. Bucket there by Alter.
Crossover for Jackson. Salas steals the rebound and finds a cutting Mitchell at the rim.
Great move.
It's almost even in the foul territory, and the Cueva looking to take advantage. Said Yates draws the foul, and one opportunity is said, gives the muscles down.
And it's 11-4, 38. Another turnover by Rio Grande. Montoya off the glass, up and in, back-to-back layups for the Demons.
Oh, was stolen away again by Valdez. Valdez going to bring it out.
Valdez has to have around 3 or 4 steals. 3 by Mays.
Bingo! That one rattles in for Alyssa Mays, and the All-District Player of the Year has 12.
Penetrates, no foul called. Rodriguez lines one up and knocks down the 3. First basket of the night.
To back it out.
Look at this deep 3.
Wow! That was from NBA range.
What a steal. Stevison 2-on-1, gets up, gets it in.
He doesn't use it, comes back out to Dominguez, who takes a 3. Boom! There's that man, Superman.
Turns, shoots off. Oh,
Wow.
he made that.
Wow. That was crazy. That was a crazy shot.
Has everybody on him. Now he got open.
Open look for a 3, and that's what he does. A 3 for Denaclaw. His first bucket of the game. And that's a 3, and it'll count at the buzzer.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With your covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView.
Show me the money. Show. Hey. I don't know what I don't speak Japanese. I don't know if there's a real interpretation to anything. What I do speak is $60-something million. It's the opening drive. Jeff, JJ, A. Marie, Shohei Ohtani. Baseball starts. When's opening day? Tomorrow?
Thursday.
What day is today?
Today's
I thought it was
Tuesday.
Wednesday already. Sorry.
Same.
Shohei Ohtani will make a baseball record. I mean, for quarterbacks, this is right in the market, right?
Nothing.
And look, he plays 150 times a year as opposed to a few times, 15, 16, 17 times a year. He doesn't get hit as much though. Shohei will make $65 million this season, according to Forbes. That includes endorsements and everything else. There's an annual list published by Forbes. And so he's the highest paid player in the sport. So that's 1 year, $30 million contract extension that the Angels and him hit to avoid arbitration last offseason. Next up on that list, Max Scherzer at 59.3.
Steal for the Angels. 1 year, $30 million.
Yeah, no, that's and considering the Mets
the best player of this generation, it ain't Mike Trout.
Well, look, I'm not arguing with you. He is. I will contend still that Griffey's the best I've ever seen all around, but I'm starting to soften on that, and this guy might be it.
There might be dudes that could throw. Hey, I can throw a 91 mile per hour fastball on the mound. Look at this. Can you throw 102 with the slider and strike out Mike Trout and hit home runs?
Hit one out of the
Nope.
yard. Yeah, no, he's unbelievable. I'm starting to come there. He might be the best I've ever seen. Let's ask our next guest. He knows baseball. Forrest is here from Isotopes. We got a sweet deal for you. Isotopes open the season on Friday, right? Down in Texas.
Yes, sir.
What's up, my friend? How you living?
Doing well, man. Baseball is only a few days away, so I'm living great,
All right,
man.
first of
That's
all-
the best news of the year, if you ask me.
Thanks for lunch the other day.
Oh my God, how good was that?
I mean, it was all right.
Yeah. So, what was your favorite out of the 5 items y'all tried?
So it was the noodles that. So Amory's back there just going. What?
I'm so mad because I couldn't
Lunch?
go. No, because I had to work.
Oh, you can't hear. Put those on. Oh yeah, you got to plug those in. She's like, I had to work, and so she was over there. You didn't time it right, basically, Forrest, because Amory had to do BV's show, and she didn't get to go out and eat all of your new food items out at the ballpark.
And if people don't know, the Isotopes have a new menu.
Well, hopefully we can get her out here at the stadium
You
before
will.
too long.
You feed her. I mean, that's really what you. So you had.
I'm sure we can make arrangements.
So you had you had the chicharron, the pig candy.
Pig candy.
Yeah, that was everybody loves that. See, I'm not a chicharron guy. I know, like Traub was like, you got to have that. I'm like, that's all right.
I want the ribs. I mean, I studied the menu. I wasn't there, but
The
I
red
studied
chili
the
ribs.
menu.
Oh, they're delicious.
That was the one I
Tender,
didn't get.
fall off the bone good.
Yeah, that was the one I didn't get. The pork, so the Dentist Delight. So apple fritters is the bun.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fork and knife thing, man. You can't pick it up. Like a half pound of brisket, drizzled with caramel aioli, apple slaw. Am I close to?
Oh, you're right on point,
I don't have
actually.
the script in front of me, but
Get people to go.
so that was pretty good.
Oh, it's and to boot with the Dentist Delight, while supplies last, we're giving out free toothbrushes thanks to our great friends,
Dr. Lepore.
Dr. Greg Lepore.
Yeah, and Paige, his wife.
Oh, yeah.
Paige never gets the love. She was up there with him, and John's got to give Paige a little love.
He
too.
does.
Not just old Doc, not Greg, but Paige as well.
Oh, 100%.
The falafel and the noodles, right?
I love that the Isotopes come out with new menus every year. Like, it's really cool experience for people while they're at the ballpark.
I love the Dentist Delight too, because you can honestly make it a deconstructed. And then so you can have your brisket and coleslaw, and then you
That'll
can eat
be
the fritter for.
I like the you're sweet and savory, right?
What's
All
your
right
favorite?
there.
What'd you like?
Oh, pig candy for sure. And
Really?
probably second was the falafel, I think.
I forgot the popcorn on the Dentist Delight.
Oh, yeah.
Caramel popcorn.
Caramelized popcorn, I think it is.
So what was number 2 for you?
Probably the falafel.
Yeah, that was good too. And it was like a green chili tzatziki sauce.
Yep, that's correct.
That's the one I'm on their video tasting. You know what's good for that was the beer, the Slam and Amber. The
Oh, yeah.
Isotopes Amber beer. I mean, that's just how I roll.
There's a big candy. It's sweet and spicy.
Yeah.
And
some red chili flakes on there.
Yeah. No.
At first, Austin was there. My son, 4-year-old, tried it. Kind of freaked him out a little bit at first.
His reaction was
And then
hilarious.
he sat there and ate an entire plate.
So why is Forrest here? Just to talk about food? Well, kind of, because our sweet deal today is baseball bucks. With the Isotopes open up, their home opener is next Tuesday. Well, that's when I get back from the Final Four after the Aztecs. Will Sushan be there?
Oh, yeah.
By the way, do you know Sushan's an Aztec?
Of course,
Does he,
I know that.
does he
I'm
want people to know that?
I think he does.
No, he does.
If
He
he's in
puts-
his social media,
He
oh,
puts
yeah.
it everywhere.
All right.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
So,
you hide it. No, I'm just kidding.
I think your girl Paige Sporanic's an Aztec too. I was just told today too.
No, yes.
Yeah.
My friend Paige.
Baseball bucks. So what? Here's the deal. You get a book of baseball bucks and you spend them at the ballpark. So, and I was just telling you this back. Now that you're cashless,
Mm-hmm.
you can give your kid here's his baseball buck. Instead of giving your card, here's the baseball bucks. Go get your Dippin' Dots, or go get a dog, or go get pig candy or whatever your kid's going to go get.
100%.
So there are sweet deal today. They go on our site, sportsanimalabq.com, right at 9 o'clock. And I promise you they go quickly. I tried last year. I struck out. See what I did there? Swing and a miss. I got nothing. I had to use my card. So $28 gets you an Isotopes Baseball Bucks booklet. It's a $56 value, so it's half price. This is good for tickets, merchandise, beer, food, pig candy, whatever it is, any use at the ballpark.
Whole shebang, yes, sir.
All right. Did I miss something on that? Because these things they come in $2 increments, right?
I think that's correct. Yep.
Yeah. So have you ever used these?
No.
Okay.
But what you're saying is this is great.
Yes.
Like what you just said, when your kids are at the ballpark, they're like, I don't really want to hand you my card right now.
Dude, your wife wants a beer and you don't have to give her the
baseball
yes.
bucks.
Yes.
It's so convenient.
Right. So you know where our
your
seats
kid
are.
comes back, you're like, where'd you get that jersey?
Right.
Well, walked into the pro shop.
Oh, but here's your card, Dad. Did you get a receipt? I think, is that what this thing is? Yeah. Forrest doesn't come slum it down where I sit, but you've been in my seats, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're 20. I've had the same seats as the ballpark open.
Oh, wow.
I think it's 29 steps from the bar on the club level. It's like 32, I think, by the seventh inning. But
there you go.
So I get this a lot. Hey, do you want another beer? And then she kind of waits, and I give her the credit card. She'll go get it a lot. But now here's the baseball box.
Mm-hmm.
Go get a beer.
It limits, right? You can't buy 3 or 4. You only buy 1 or 2.
That's right. Well, I mean, we just 2 at a time. I mean, we're not going crazy. But now you can buy falafel with this. All right. Any idea what the club looks like? I mean, we're 2 days away. I know dude. You know what the club looks like. You got a roster. Because you got to put notes together.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I think we got a pretty good ball club. I think we do. We're going to be a very exciting team. I think we're going to be a lot of big bashers again, like last year. I think some new faces around too. We got a couple guys from last year, but a whole lot of new faces. I think it's going to bring an exciting brand of baseball to Albuquerque. I'm really excited about our coaching staff too. Bobby Meacham, former Aztec, right there.
Another look. They're just taking over, dude. Well, and the manager of the big club is an Aztec.
He is.
Buddy Black is an Aztec.
I learned that this past week, actually.
Who told you that, Josh Sushan?
He did, yeah.
He told you that. Yeah.
He was eager to do that.
And somebody's going to say that's why the Rockies don't win. Is that why too many damn Aztecs running around there? That might be it.
Yeah, I mean, you have a beach closer, right? It's Colorado. It's too many mountains.
Must be what it is. All right, so I know you were at spring training last week.
Yep, that was a lot
all
of
the
fun.
big dogs get to go, right? And now you and I, well, you and I go to the Mountain West tournament in the Final Four. They go to spring training. They're the big.
I can go to the Final Four.
You're welcome to join me. I'll tell you what. If you get there,
Can I go?
So
I mean, is this now just a thing?
Have we opened this up?
All right. So whoever's in first between you guys, not all of y'all. It's not like the first caller. I might have an extra ticket in a suite for Saturday
All
night's
these
game.
People in Houston.
Jeff! I'm just saying. I'm just
Do
saying.
not put that out on the radio. That was break
I
room
called last
talk.
Tuesday,
By the way,
remember?
this is break room talk. You just aired out that you have.
I'm Texture 7841.
I might have offered it to Sushan, but Sushan is like
This
Monty
is a
Montezuma.
tough week. This is a tough week.
Well,
for
he's
Sushan.
Monty Montezuma. Like, he knows everybody. And I'm like, I don't know, dude. You want to come up and hang out in the suite for a minute? No, I got all my people and I got all these tickets on it. You know how. We'll see.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good. I like that.
I've been working on
You
my
should break that out next time you
I've
see
been
him.
working on my All right, sweet deal goes live on our website, sportsanimalabq.com, 9 o'clock. Don't be late or you will not get these. Baseball bucks, you go to the ballpark, you go to the baseball games, you'll be there all season. Half price, $28 gets you $56 worth of stuff. I mean, literally. So you buy a book of this, you're getting $28 worth of free food, beer, tickets, merchandise, whatever it is. Get online. The full schedule and everything you want for Isotopes is abqisotopes.com. Tickets available. Home opener is Tuesday.
April 4th, 6:35 at the Lab.
Goodness gracious. Do you know what April 4th is, by the way? What else April 4th will be?
What's that?
The 40th anniversary of Jim Valvano winning
Oh, wow.
in the pit with that NC State team.
That's a pretty cool memory right
It's
there.
a big day for you guys to open up. That's a way to start
Right
a,
across the street too.
to start a championship season, cut down nets.
I hope so. We'll cut down some plates or something, right?
Pick up plates or something. Good to see you, my friend.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
Insurance is not a commodity you can buy off the shelf. You need a professional on your side to help you buy
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at U.S. Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with U.S. Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with U.S. Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With your covered from U.S. Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At U.S. Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Two 246-0610. Jeff, look at Jeff with a humble brag on having tickets to Final Four. Nice. I mean, a lot of people have tickets to Final Four. There'll be like 40,000 people, 50,000 people there.
Oh my gosh.
What?
It's not a. You're not bragging.
I mean, I might go to the Final Four. That's all. Travis says it's great to hear new stories coming from new voices. Keep them coming. It's from Travis. Yep, good callers today. New voices. It's really cool. Really, really cool. What good Little League players? Gosh, why can't I read this? What good Little League players do, Shohei does in the major leagues. Shohei Ohtani makes Major League Baseball look like Little League. So have I been making that comparison for how long?
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, he's doing in the big leagues what you see studs do in the Little League or in high school baseball, right? I've been telling you that for 2 years now.
And he's such a special athlete. It's not just, he played in Japan so he could do it, because there's not a whole bunch of other people doing what he's doing either right now, even in Japan. Because it's the skill sets. Like at some point, it's hard enough to be even a minor league player, let alone make it to Major League Baseball. I understand why players kind of start focusing in on one thing instead of trying to be average at 2 and try to be really good at 1.
But that's the way the system is. That's what they're honed to do, right? I mean, that's we hear all the time, whatever it is, that's the way it is. Well, why does that? Because that's how it is. Well, if you're a pitcher, then you're a pitcher. Well, you figure out what you want to do. And there's plenty of guys who are pitchers that became position players.
It's also different when you're throwing 87 in high school. And then
100%.
Like,
no, you're right.
You're like, oh, now I got to strike out major leaguers and hit.
I remember way back in the day, Brett Saberhagen in high school and how good he was. By the way, I mean, unbelievably good. And the longest name, it just wrapped around his back on his Cleveland high school uniform. But he was so good. But he could mash too now, back in the day. Just watching what Shohei does, yeah, you see it in Little League all the time. Text line says, JJ, any news or rumors from Mountain West Conference women's basketball players transferring? It's from Ronnie.
It is incredibly difficult to find information on them.
Okay.
There's no verbal commits for women's basketball, unfortunately.
Yeah, the verbal commits meaning the website.
Well, even looking online, there's not as many posts about it, because all verbal commits does is they
just scour the
player posts there in the portal. Then we put said players in portal.
Well, the portal itself is a public place, right? Is it not? I mean, if you go online and say, if you just Google portal, it gives you all these names, players, faces. I mean, there's somewhere that it's got to be official, right? That somebody's got access to.
I don't know if we have the NCAA login access.
Okay, but somebody's got it official. All right. Lars says, there's no way, Hefe. This winter has destroyed my yard, so I went outside to try to fix some of the damage, but I had to run back inside after 5 minutes. If it was that cold in December, there's no way I would have gone to your game. Lars, there's no way.
What?
Yeah.
This is an email from today?
Yeah, no, it's dated today. He wrote a poem. There's no way I'd go to your game. There's no way I'd even try if I had to survive when it's less than 50 outside. You know I wouldn't last a day. Oh, Hefe, there's no way.
Oh my God!
I'm glad you're watching us on TV. And did you watch us in prime time on ABC, Lars? I hope so. It's pretty good. Over 2 million people did. That's a humble brag. HB. All right. So we're talking transfer portal. JJ and I've given you names, right? J.R. Giddens, Danny Granger. We've used Drew Gordon. HB wants to know, Jeff, what exactly did Drew Gordon do here? Jeff, his biggest contribution was being used by Alfred as a pawn in his war with the writer from the Albuquerque Journal. Who's better transfer? Tim Williams, who had a better career as a Lobo? And don't look at numbers. Just tell me in your mind. Tim Williams or Drew Gordon? Because they're really similar players to me. One came from Samford, one came from UCLA. They're both really good, right?
I think Tim Williams.
I think so too.
Better, but Drew Gordon was on a better team.
Drew Gordon won. Yeah, his team's won. Tim Williams was,
so solid.
Right? Like they were very similar, weren't they? Build-wise, game wasn't totally different. Okay. Omar says this has to stop, Jeff. Who was the last homegrown player around here? Malwatch? Before that, Ryan Kirsten. That's what he would call Hugh Greenwood. 2 guys in 10 years among a sea of mercenaries. Is it any wonder Lobo basketball has one postseason appearance in that time? The answer is obvious, right? I mean, look at the rosters of these teams in the Final Four. Go through them. How many 4-year guys do you think San Diego State has? Seiko's a 6-year guy. Malcolm Butler and a rope. Is it, everybody else is from somewhere else? Bradley's a transfer. I think Keyshawn Johnson might be. So of their 9, maybe that's a pretty good percentage. If they home grew 4 of them, it's a pretty good percentage for them. Because Parrish is a transfer, and Ledie's a transfer, and Bradley's a transfer, and Trammell's a transfer. Yeah. To his point, I don't know what to tell people anymore. Like Omar, we're the 4-year guys, we're the homegrown guys, we're the guys that I get to know. And to his point, that's why the Lobos aren't winning. I can't disagree more. And go look around college basketball. How many guys? And you're going to show me a few. How many does UConn? I think everybody on UConn, Kansas State's team that got to the Elite Eight and lost to FAU. Kansas State's team, every single one on that roster started somewhere else. How do you get to a point? I don't know that you do, JJ, and I ask you this all the time. For whom are we doing it? Is it for the fans, for the players, for the TV, for the coaches? Who are we doing it for? How do we get to a point where fans are going to, I don't even know what I'm looking for, be comfortable with it, accept it?
When you're in the NCAA tournament? When you're legitimately competing to win a conference championship?
So no matter how your roster is constructed, that'll be the right way. So if you are 95% transfers, but you cut down nets in Vegas and you get a 5 seed,
then
and you go to the Sweet 16, so that however your roster is thusly constructed, that will be the comfort level for fans. Okay, that might be the right answer. Yeah, that very well may be the right answer.
Not the only reason they made that postseason appearance this year was because of the transfer portal.
UNM.
Yes.
Correct. Look, your top 4 guys were all transfers. And one of them just bounced. We're going to talk some football at 9:30. Nate Davis is the Gladiators quarterback. They started out 1-0. Big win. They beat the defending champs on the road. They open up at home this weekend, so their quarterback is back, and that's a big deal for the Gladiators. That's at 9:30. But stay with us 17 minutes from now, 9 o'clock this morning. The commissioner of the Mountain West Conference, Gloria Nevadas, is going to be with us. She's 3 months on the job. She's in the Final Four, and it's a big deal for San Diego State. It's a big deal for New Mexico. We're going to talk to her about what's the future look like and how does she navigate everything that's in front of her. And we hear, everything's football. Well, basketball's front and center right now. And what's her vision for this league as you move into this next phase of conference realignment? That's coming up at 9 o'clock this morning. IPS, International Protective Service. They watch my home. May watch yours. They watch businesses that you go to. Businesses, homes all over Albuquerque trust Aaron Jones and his highly trained armed guards, 24-hour patrols to protect what they've worked so hard to build. You know property crime is an issue. You know that officer shortage is an issue. And so you should trust IPS. I have for years. Reach out to them and see what they can do for you. It's affordable, private security. You've worked hard to build what you've got. Your home, your business, absolutely your family. What's it worth? Call them and figure out how to protect it the best way. Committed to our city and your protection. Call IPS at 505-897-2420, 505-897-2420, or online at ipsglobal.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. The Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With your covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact.
Dude who said, look at Jeff with the humble brag on having tickets to the Final
Yeah, I
Four.
didn't
Nice.
think you did.
No, I didn't take it.
I just thought it wasn't
No.
a brag.
And so, dude, or I'm assuming dude, but I shouldn't assume. The person who sent that sent another text, said it was not meant to be an insult. It's very cool. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to watch your alma mater in the Final Four. I hope I can one day watch my Miners, again, not in my lifetime, in a Final Four. Yeah, it might be once in a lifetime. It never happened before, and I don't know if it'll ever happen again. Right? I mean, that's what I was telling all my people, all my buddies who are Lobo fans or whoever. If it was the first time, I went to the first Sweet 16. Now I'm bummed. I'm missing. My mom's in town, and Addie's got 3 games up in Santa Fe. They got like a Pueblo team coming down, Durango team, Santa Fe. She's got 3 lacrosse games, and my mom's going to go up. I'm going to miss that, and it kills me to miss that. But Addie's like, Dad, and literally we had this conversation last night. Dad, I'm going to have plenty more lacrosse games. Like, you got to go to this. Like, all right. My kid talked me into. She's right?
Yes.
She's going to like have 3 hat tricks and go nuts, isn't she? I hope she does. 505-246-0610. Sherman, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. What's up?
Hey, good morning. So I understand the upside of the transfer portal. If you're the player, it's like a free billboard on the interstate. Is there a downside for a player to put themselves in the portal?
Yeah, the downside is the risk. Like you don't know where you're going to land, if you're going to land, and there's no guarantee you're going to land in a better spot. Now, if you're like Josiah Alex could be fine. But I'll tell you this, from everything I hear, Josiah Alex is going to make less NIL money than he would here wherever he goes. Now, he's not a guy who, I mean, everybody likes money, Sherman, but I don't know that he needs it. But is there a downside? Yeah, there's a risk. You don't know where you're going to land.
So do you have to leave if you put yourself in the portal?
You can come back if that school wants you back. You can come back. Yeah, you can go into the portal. JJ, there have been guys who've done it here, right? Gone in the portal and come back and
right.
Yeah. Now, I know football-wise, Danny Gonzalez has said if you go in the portal, you're not coming back. We're not taking you back. Some coaches have that policy. But, yeah, Sherman, if you're in the portal, you can be recruited by your former school as well as everybody else.
So I would think most coaches would do what Danny Gonzalez does, right?
I don't know that most do. And I guess it's going to depend on the player, right? If there's a guy that goes into the portal that you wish didn't, and I'm not sure that any of these 5 are players that Pitino wishes didn't. I'm sure he wishes Josiah would have stayed in the role that Richard sees him in.
In the role, yeah.
But I if I look at this right now, I mean, as objectively as I can without having a conversation with Richard, I mean, do you think there's one guy that he says, gosh, I really, 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 really wish he didn't go?
Right, and that's him. I agree with that.
So,
but that's just, he's a very good player, so he's going to go somewhere.
Of course. And I think they'll all find a spot. KJ's a shooter, and I can see him ending up at like Evansville or something, and Javante's going to find a place. They're all going to find a place to play. Yeah. Now, will it be better? I don't know. Is there a risk? That's what the risk is, Sherm. So, appreciate you, man.
You could, but you could still be a walk-on somewhere.
Yeah, you can walk on or scholarship player, but yeah, you'll find yourself a spot.
Okay.
If you can play. All right. Good to hear you. Thanks.
Yeah, good to hear you. Bye.
But that's the risk, isn't it?
Yeah, you're walking away from a scholarship, but to paint the total picture, it's not just the player in this. There's the coaches, and I think there's a couple spots in KJ Jenkins and Javante Johnson. I don't think it's breaking news or talking like, oh, don't say this. Like, those are spots of Robos believe that they can get better at. And they don't want 4 small guards in the backcourt.
Don't you think they need to?
Yeah. They want more size, and they want bigger guards. They want bigger players on the wing, and thus, KJ Jenkins, Javante Johnson are guys that see that writing on the wall. Get in the portal.
Yeah. All right. Big month for the Mountain West Conference. Just having San Diego State be there, and I've heard more on the national stuff. It's the first time a Mountain West Conference team has been to the Final Four. Even more than I've heard, it's the first time San Diego State's been there. Good for the league, more money for the league. What's the future of the league? The new commissioner is Gloria Nevares. She's been on the job for 3 months. What's the future? How does she see it? You're going to meet her, and we'll ask her those questions next. Glad you're with us. Thanks for being with us on a beautiful Tuesday. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Too strong. It's going to be a rebound there by Brown. Brown gets it in. Bucket there by Alter.
Crossover for Jackson. Salas steals the rebound and finds a cutting Mitchell at the rim.
Great move.
It's almost even in the foul territory, and the Cueva looking to take advantage. Said Yates draws the foul, and one opportunity is said, gives the muscles down.
And it's 11-4, 38. Another turnover by Rio Grande. Montoya off the glass, up and in, back-to-back layups for the Demons.
Thrown away again by Valdez. Valdez going to bring it out.
Valdez has to have around 3 or 4 steals. 3 by Mays.
Bingo! That one rattles in for Alyssa Mays, and the All-District Player of the Year has 12.
Penetrates, no foul called. Rodriguez lines one up and knocks down the 3. First basket of the night.
Back it out.
Look at this deep 3.
Wow! That was from NBA range.
What a steal. Stevison 2-on-1, gets up, gets it in.
He doesn't use it, comes back out to Dominguez, who takes a three. Boom! There's that man, Superman.
Turns, shoots off. Oh,
Wow.
he made that.
Wow. That was crazy. That was a crazy shot.
Has everybody on him. Now he got open.
Open look for a three, and that's what he does. A three for Dennerclaw. His first bucket of the game. And that's a three, and it'll count at the buzzer.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With your covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
Conference realignment, everything in college football, college basketball, the college sports landscape. That is all on the table. That is all an issue that you're interested in. It's the opening drive. Good morning to you, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. So we'll watch the Final Four. The Final Four that none of you had. I mean, let's be honest. Was there one bracket that had 2 of these teams in there? Like, did anybody? Everybody's like, I had a Final Four. I have that team. I have that team. Like, okay, maybe you had UConn. And if you're an FAU fan and you filled out a 3rd or 4th bracket, you had FAU.
I had Miami in one of mine.
Did you?
I just really liked them this year.
Okay, when you say one of yours, how many did you do?
I did 4
brackets. And I don't judge, so I do a few jackets.
I'm not worried.
So on your 4th bracket, you had Miami, and I'm down with that. So you kind of saw, well, maybe I could kind of see it. Okay. But on your main bracket,
I didn't have them winning it. I just had them going to the Final Four.
All right. So you had Miami. And I had UConn making a deep run if I would have done like a 4th one. Did you have any of them?
UConn.
Okay. In your main bracket?
I only did one.
Okay. So you had UConn in the Final Four.
Yeah.
All right. That
was it.
Look, UConn was the second to last undefeated team in America. They had a great run. They got into Big East play, and then they stumbled a little bit. But there's nobody, right? There's not one anywhere that had all of these, right? 'Cause, after the first day, not even the first round, ESPN was out there and like 0.873% still have a perfect bracket. That's the one thing that'll never happen, correct? The perfect bracket. I mean, that's hitting the lottery, isn't it? I don't know what the odds are. And somebody with a mathematician, right? If you got 68 teams and all the possibilities and all
they're so willing to
give out $1 million,
millions of dollars on the line every year.
No doubt. Right. But I don't even know what are the odds better to win the lottery or to hit the perfect bracket? Because if you have 68
gotta be pretty
well, think of all
together.
the combinations, right? And way not smart enough to put this together.
Same.
But 68 teams and all the different combinations of wins and losses and who knows where it is. I mean, I have no idea, but it'll never happen. But you've got a team into the Final Four. 3 of them who have never been there before, right? You've got Miami. They've never been there before. You're like, Jeff, all the great history at Miami and the university and the U and the athletics, how have they never been there before? Nope, Miami's making their first appearance. FAU had never won a game in the NCAA tournament before this year. And, of course, San Diego State making the first run for them and for the Mountain West Conference. It's the opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck. So what does it mean for the league? And you guys have been talking about it. We've asked you, and over the last bunch of weeks, you're Lobo fans. You despise San Diego State, but are you pulling for the Aztecs? Because the league has gotten so much run. Gloria Nevares is the commissioner of the Mountain West Conference. She's been on the job for 3 months, and she has got a team in the Final Four. See, she's working her magic already. She's with us this morning on The Sports Animal. Good morning, Madam Commissioner. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
We're well, thank you. So 3 months on the job, and you did something this league's never been able to do. You should get a raise already, shouldn't you?
You know what? I would love to take credit, but you've watched this all year. The strength of this league has really enabled us to get 4 teams in, and San Diego State didn't run through the league unscathed.
No, this is it. And Lobo fan has told us many times each day that they won in San Diego and they almost swept the Aztecs, and that's how close they are. This is throughout the league, and you've watched this, and like you were at the West Coast Conference for a long time. You've been in a lot of places. This league has had a great year, and I would even argue 2 years in basketball. But what has this run meant as you've gone site to site and you're fielding calls every day for the league? What has this meant over the last couple of weeks?
The first thing that pops to my mind is just, raising our national profile. Like, I just, this league has a strong history in hoops. We've been really, really strong the last couple of years. That COVID year, we would have had a good showing as well. But really just shining a light on, it's not easy to get in, let alone to get multiple teams in, and it's not easy to advance. Look at all the 1 seeds that got, taken out this year. So it's a long season. It's a lot of talent. It's a lot of luck. It's a lot of 1-2 point games that go your way or not. And so to break through has just been, a tremendous joy, but also kind of a relief for some folks, getting that monkey off the Mountain West back that we don't get out of the first round.
No, and I don't know if it's been more of a monkey on the backs of the institutions or the fans, because everybody who's vested has felt it. Gloria Nevares is the commissioner of the Mountain West Conference. Gloria, what do you know now about this league that maybe you didn't know when you took over 3 months ago? Just being in that chair now and being the commissioner and going to all the sites.
So I'm halfway through, but, I have met with just about everybody, and I need to pick up the other half of my campus visits. But the biggest surprise to me is there hasn't yet been a huge landmine that I didn't hear about or see about in the interview. There's the biggest, kind of heartwarming thing that I've found has been there's so much affinity and so much pride from the fans to the athletes to the coaches. We have so many people that work in our ranks that have either gone to the schools, have an affiliation, went to one school, went to another. Even if you bounced out like people do in athletics and get experience elsewhere, there's so many that come back. There's a grit and an affinity to our league that is just so strong, kind of underneath the national brand.
Gloria Nevares is with us on the opening drive this morning. I think it's as you go around, there's been a pride in what's been done, what's done. But do you find, obviously everybody's got a pride in their institution. There seems to be something, though, league-wide, right? The schools that are in this league that have especially, well, not even just the charter schools, the schools that are competing have a pride in that Mountain West brand, it feels like, don't they?
I am struggling to put words around it, and we have a branding firm that's working with us, and I hope people smarter, more creative than me will quantify it. But when I stumble through and try to articulate it, the word grit comes to mind. We're a lot of first-generation blue collar. We may have started school, bounced out, come back to finish our degrees because of life and family. But not a lot of silver spoons, not a lot of entitlement, but a lot of, work harder than most.
Yeah, no, I think that's right. And then you start looking forward because there's a lot of concern about what is the league going to look like moving forward. And the San Diego State talk to the Pac-12, Big 12 is there, and there's no avoiding it. And Brian Dutcher kind of hit on the podium the other day in Louisville about that. I'm not asking for specifics, and I know nothing's determined, but I know that there's talks. Assuming there is another round of movement, assuming somebody does leave the league, what is the strategy that you might be able to share and make people feel better about just the stability of this league and what it would look like both football and or basketball wise moving forward if a San Diego State would leave the league?
One of the things that I talk about constantly with staff and our membership is we're really well situated. There are 10 FBS leagues, and we are going to annually vie for one of those 8Qs. Yeah. Top 6 conference champions. And that's a really good place to be. Now, think about where we are in the whole ecosystem of FBS leagues. And as long as we don't fall to the bottom and we're very, very competitive and we maintain that position, we are fine. And think about what we did for TCU. Think about what we did for Utah. When San Diego State joined the Mountain West, they were 500 in football and basketball. They made the investments. The platform that is the Mountain West, they maximized it. They leveraged themselves into a really good position at the top of the league. And so as long as we think about ourselves, in that strong position, we will find that next group of schools. We will continue to push our schools to, invest and move forward and be well positioned. And I think, we are an amazingly strong league with a long history of success. And we celebrate our student athletes and our non-student athletes when they do well in business and industry. And I think we should think about the schools that have come through us and done really well as the same.
Gloria Nevadas, the commissioner of the Mountain West Conference, is with us this morning on the Sports Animal.
Gloria, when you look at the Final Four and you have a San Diego State, you have a Florida Atlantic, I think that also can help reinforce that even with all the changes in college athletics, there are still plenty of benefits to the mid-majors, the high majors, like the Mountain West Conference. And I know that's another thing that you, the administrators, are focusing on, the student-athlete welfare. But the positives from it showing that even in this day and age with the transfer portal, that schools in the Mountain West Conference can benefit at a high level.
Well, certainly, it's a Final Four that I don't think anybody has picked in their bracket.
Nobody.
But it does speak to the parity, and it also speaks to the way March Madness is built a little bit. And back, I forget how long ago when the CBS contract at the NCAA was signed, there became, we created this unit system where if you get in, you earn a unit, which is value dollars to the school, and every time you advance, you earn a unit, which is more dollars to the league and to the school. And while some have criticized that as being prize money and based on performance versus what are we really about, graduating student athletes, it also has stoked considerable investment in the sport that you can see now has panned out, especially for schools that don't have football and make basketball their football or their, primary sport. It seems to be working and has cultivated a much more in-depth environment across the NCAA.
I think it's inarguable, right? I mean, we're looking at what this tournament is and what we're going to see in Houston on Saturday and on Monday and who those teams are. I think, when we look at the portal and we look at NIL and it feels like, at least for now, and I don't know how sustainable it is, it's somewhat brought parity to basketball. Do you see a path for football? And we're expanding the college football playoff, so there's going to be 12 spots. But do you see a point where it's not Alabama and Ohio State and Clemson every year, where a San Diego State, FAU, a Fresno State, somebody can play for a championship at football, or is that just a different beast?
It certainly is a different beast, but I would like to see a little bit more built in to the performance metric as far as financial rewards. Right now there's a big pot of money. It gets split 80% to the 5 traditionally power conferences and 20% to the rest of the FBS leagues, and then we split within there. And I think this new expansion, there's a lot of discussion about how we build that, and I think there's been discussion about, should it be based on the number of teams leagues have? Should it be based on performance? And then I think performance should figure a little bit more brightly than it has previously.
What is one or two things that concerns you about the student athlete? Now, they're getting a ton of benefits in this with NIL, the opportunity to transfer once, which I think is fine. Sometimes you don't necessarily go to the right place for you, but maybe things that concern you that for a student athlete, you guys really do want to work on and try to push it in the right direction.
The transfer portal definitely is good for the student athletes, but I really am concerned about graduation rates. The data shows a negative correlation for, the number of transfers. As that gets higher, the lower the chance of graduation rate. So we really need to keep an eye on that and make sure we're doing right by the student athletes if we're taking transfers. The name, image, likeness, again, very, very positive in a lot of circumstances, but we're also starting to hear some of the negative stories, deals that never got paid or rights that have been signed into perpetuity. And I hope there's a way, and I know there's an NCAA committee about this, and I know the president, new Charlie Baker, NCAA president, is highly focused on bringing some accountability and transparency to name, image, likeness deals, both for the benefit and the protection of student athletes.
Yeah, I always wonder with this, who's protecting the student athletes on this? And with it being in its infancy, I remember at the league meetings last year, the big talk was NIL, and everybody kept saying, well, they got to figure it out. They got to figure it out. And I came out of there with the question of who on earth is they, right? Nobody wants to take charge of this. The institutions are theoretically out of the NIL game. The NCAA is washing their hands. And so who is it who will regulate this, somehow draw this thing back a little bit? Because I think a lot of people feel that it's gotten to the point, or at least is getting to the point where it's out of control. And what do you do about it?
Exactly. And I think there's not to speak for the association, but the folks that I've spoken to, I think there's a sense that, okay, if we can at least crawl back the outright pay for play somehow,
right.
And then build in protections, hopefully we can do that.
Yeah. All right, lastly, before we let you go, here you are 3 months in, you've got spring meetings coming up in about a month. What's your biggest issue as far as you as commissioner of this league? And I know there's a lot, but I mean, if you said this is what's at the top of the list or right, biggest thing on my plate, what is it that the league is focused on right now as the biggest issue?
Well, certainly expansion and membership and what's happening in the horizon. That's a daily, check the ticker, make calls. We're ready for anything. We've gone through all our scenarios, but that is certainly the every morning with the cup of coffee type thing. But then exactly what you talked about, the new CFP. There's a lot of devil in the details, how the games are hosted, awarded, how the revenue is going to flow. There's the the media rights negotiation that has to go on. So working through all of that kind of big picture really has the most impact on maintaining our position of strength in the FBS League.
Madam Commissioner, appreciate the conversation. Always appreciate the time. Look forward to, hopefully I'll see you in Houston. If not, I'll see you in Scottsdale in a month. But always appreciate the conversation. Congratulations on the success of the league. Having a team in the Final Four is a big deal, certainly for everybody involved with this league. Safe travels to Houston, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. See you soon.
Be well. Gloria Nevadas, she is the commissioner of the Mountain West Conference. One thing she said at the end I thought was key. I'll tell you what it is and why. And it's about looking forward. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Your money bracket is busted.
But we have a bracket.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from U.S. Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At U.S. Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We fight the battles no one hears about. We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
The sports animal. So, honest truth, and not that I'm not always honest and truthful with you, but usually when you talk well about someone, people say, "Well, give me the real scoop, man." You're just saying. Talk to a lot of people at the conference tournament about a lot of things, but it's so how you like the new commissioner, and unanimously people really like her. And Craig did a great job for 20-something years. Craig Thompson was the first and only commissioner the Mountain West had, and Gloria came in. And so when she was named, JJ, what was it, like October, right?
Yeah.
And I was around the league a little bit talking to some football people, and some football people were really concerned that she didn't come from a football league. And I know you addressed this with her when you had the conversation with her during a halftime one of your games. And she's got a background with a lot of places in football. Her most recent stop was not a football league, but that doesn't mean she had no football experience. But talking to people over the last month, people really like what is, including people in the league office, which I was worried about because I know there was such an allegiance and affinity for Craig. All those people who were in the league office were hired by Craig Thompson and worked for Craig for so long. And change is hard, right? I mean, changes aren't permanent, but change is. And everybody feels like they're in a good place. It feels like the culture that she's created has been good and she's pleasant. The thing that, JJ, that she said at the end that resonated probably more than anything else that she talked about, and although there were some other things. She says, I'm checking the ticker every day. Like, she's probably going to find out that San Diego State's leaving when she gets a blow up on her phone, right? She'll probably find out before she gets a call from San Diego State. And I think we all think it's imminent. We're ready, right? She flat out said, we're ready for this. We've gone through our scenarios, and the league, the board of directors, the athletic directors, the presidents, and I've talked to a number of athletic directors about this in this league. The league will be fine. You're losing a big dog, but you know what? You've lost a big dog before, right? So did the league die when Utah and TCU left? It did not, right? Did it die when BYU left? I'm not going to sit here and by any means make some scenario where in the immediate you are better off without San Diego State. I can't even sit here and tell you now that you're better off as a league without BYU or Utah, right? You'd be better as a league with them, but you are still viable and have your place. And I think I didn't expect her to sit here and give you the scenarios, nor did you. But I think you needed a comfort knowing, okay, we're ready. Whenever it happens, this league and the leadership, and she doesn't get to make all these decisions. She works for these universities. Mm-hmm. She works for these presidents. But it feels like they're in a place, okay, we have our plan and we're ready to go.
Well, it was more so trust the foundation. Because, yeah, you have a ton of schools on whatever whiteboard just sitting there, and you start moving the pieces around and say, all right, school X goes here. If we reach out to Y and Z, what does that do for us? So the scenarios are there. What she said was the foundation will build up whoever comes in. You're not going to replace a San Diego State immediately with a school.
Correct. And I think we all realize that.
And so that's what I got really was what she was preaching and said the foundation is there, the investment from the universities can come in and you can build to the level that the Mountain West has come to expect with football and basketball if you're in this conference.
The other thing was the NIL stuff. And she said what kind of JJ what I've been saying, right? I think everybody embraces the NIL and be able to make be compensated for your name, image, and likeness. But she used pay to play, right? I mean, this is basically what it's become. It is pay to play. And what she said is, how do we reel it in? And I asked her straight out, who is they? And there's no answer on that yet. And that's why this thing continues to be the Wild Wild West. But I think what she and other commissioners are trying to figure out a way to reel in, get a cap on some control is flat out pay to play. When you see like Shebue from Kentucky's making $975,000, I don't know, is he doing a bunch of commercials? Is he what's that NIL in theory was right.
It should be pay to play.
So now you think it should just go flat out pay to play.
Well, I think that it should be attached to the universities then.
But it's not. See, so now you're talking.
That's why I think
you're talking two different things that you're trying to join, and they're not.
Because it's absolutely is pay to play.
Sure it is.
And here's a picture of me on your social media feed.
Yeah, no, 100% it is.
Like, you're gonna have to merge the two together. You can't act like they're never going to be intertwined. The dude is getting paid to play for your basketball team, even though you're not supposed to talk about it. You're not supposed to say anything. You absolutely are, because that's why he's coming to university.
And so is there? Well, this is a big long conversation.
I think it should just be here's our scholarship, and this year
you're getting this much money,
$250 with the scholarship.
So you think it should come from the university then?
If that's the only way to manage it, unless you say you put caps, but then you're going to get all these business people that are going to sue them and say you can't do this. It's not free market, and that's the problem, because they're going to win all those court cases outside of the fact.
And then you're dealing with state institutions paying players to play, where right now it's an outside entity that theoretically is making these payments.
But there's no way to control that outside.
And that's where we are now.
Combination.
Right. And that's again, who's they? Yeah. Who's going to reel this thing in? All right. Gladiators opened up their season last weekend on the road. They beat the defending champions, Northern Arizona, 43-35. And their quarterback is back after being injured last year. Nate Davis had a big day. He's going to be with us next. Gladiators are saying this is the year we win a championship in this league. Why? He'll tell you That's coming up next on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
Shot up good. The Madness.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With your covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say, people mean more.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Like on Back to the Future. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. No, that's ever going to happen. Back in the day, people used to say, I just want tomorrow's newspaper once. Just one day. Just give me tomorrow's newspaper. Yeah, wouldn't that be cool? This one says, let's talk Portal, Jeff, and FAU. Golden from Texas Tech, Gaffney from UConn, Greenlee, who played for Patino at Minnesota. Side note, lots of ex-Minnesota players making an impact on the tournament teams. 3 of the 9 players with major minutes or transfers. Transfer portal is going to be an issue. It's going to be not even an issue, man. It's just going to be, it's just part of what it is. I just get used to it. I mean, it's just what it is. I'm looking for it, A-Marie.
Well, it's with anything. If you're winning, you're successful, it's fine. But if you're not getting the results that you want to see as a fan, then you start looking at, well, if you're doing it this way, you should do it the other way, and you'd be in a better position.
Well, I think you put it perfectly, man. What would UNM be without the portal? Now, you could sit here and tell me, well, they would have to recruit high schools better, but what makes you think all these high school players, if they bring in high school guys, what makes you think they're going to sit? They're not going to jump in the portal. Just assume you weren't going to play the portal game, which would be suicide. But let's just assume you opted for that, right?
You have to play both. The majority now is going to be portal, annual 2 to 3 freshmen, if that, probably 2 per year you'll bring in, and see what you got and go from there. And it's one that too, it's with the transfer portal, all this stuff, it doesn't, I guess there's a lot of frustration, but they also see a lot of positives in it. Like you look at this year, I saw it firsthand, like Amaya Brown got the opportunity to play a full season. If she battled back through multiple injuries, and she was able to come home and have a really tremendous year.
Yeah. All right, we'll get more into the portal. We're talking about coming back home. Gladiators are back home, opening up the season at home. They opened on the road last weekend. Went on the road, beat Northern Arizona, 43-35. Northern Arizona, the defending champions in this league. Home opener is on Saturday out at the Rio Rancho Event Center. And this is the year that they really feel that they can do something. Well, they've been doing something, that they can win the championship. Last year, of course, their quarterback, Nate Davis, was hurt. He was back, 4 touchdown passes in the win over Northern Arizona. Nate Davis joins us this morning on the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck. Good morning, Nate. How you living?
I'm doing good. Hey, I just want to say I appreciate you having me on.
No, appreciate you spending some time. Congratulations on getting this thing started the right way. Going into the home of the defending champions is like, I got to think the ideal way to start the season.
Yes, of course. Just going in there, them being a great organization and being the defending champs. It was a test for us, and and all week that's all Coach Fred was talking about, and Coach Bones. That's all they talked about. Hey, this is our test, and to see how we come out, and that's it. In arena football, there's going to be ups and downs. And that's what it showed of what type of team we had last weekend, because we had ups and downs, and we all stuck together.
When I talk about ups and downs, man, you had just a bummer of a season last year. You get hurt. You got to sit there and watch other guys play. I know you wanted to come back. You thought you were coming back. Didn't happen to the point where you were able to finish off this deal. How are you feeling? Talk about the process to get you back on the field and get you healthy.
Man, it was a long process. It was a whole year. March 19th is when I got hurt last year. So it was a whole year since I got hurt. It was a long process. Spine Solution evolved. Those two, pushed me so hard to get me to where I am right now. And mentally, my family helped me out. But I'm just so appreciative. Saying for my line for blocking for me. Saying I made it through the first game.
Hey, what? You're out there still with your team on the field coaching. How important was that, even as you were working your way back, going through rehab, but still being able to have that connection with the team last year?
Yeah, it was great. And the reason why it was great is because, I know those guys. And I know what they can do. It was a little harder for me because I wasn't the one throwing the ball. But it taught me a lot about the game, though, on the other side of just playing quarterback, of time management and stuff like that. That's what it taught me about the game of being the coach.
And when Nate Davis, Gladiators quarterback, you look at this team and the track record this organization has. Now watching you be quarterback, what the players that you guys are able to bring in. If you're talking to people that haven't experienced this franchise yet, they might be listening, they haven't made that drive out there. What makes this year's team different and something special that people need to see?
It's just that we're so interactive when it's a family oriented. That's the main thing. It's a family oriented event. So the players like to interact with the fans. So that's the main thing, is and that's the one thing that I would say. Even when we was away, our guys interacted with the fans down there, even, saying, was it talking smack or was it, for good? It's just that's what I love about our team is, we love to interact with the fans. And that's why I think that we will have we put on a great show.
Yeah, Nate,
I mean, look at our defense. Our defense had 7 stops.
Yeah, which is a big deal in arena football. I think this time of year,
yes, it is.
This time of year, you always have to sell it, right? And I think because when you're in off season, it's somewhat out of sight, out of mind. And I think there's a lot of people who have not experienced indoor football, and you've made a really nice career in indoor football and arena football. And for people who are like, yeah, I don't know, man. Like, how do you explain it to them? Because I've got my way, but this is your game. Like, how do you get people out there? Because I know once you get them there, they keep coming back.
And that's it. And that's just the hard part, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many ways to explain it, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I always say it's a family-oriented event. You know what I'm saying? I don't say a game, it's an event, you know? Like, you know, some of the kids get to go on the field, you know, and do some games during the, you know, commercial or something like that, you know? So that's why, and there's stuff all throughout the whole arena for people to do. And that's why I say it's an event, you know, for us to put on a show for them. So, you know, it's a fast-paced football game. That's what it is. You know, and that's the best way you could explain it. It's a fast-paced football game.
Yeah, I tell people it's football kind of with a little hockey and hoops to it, right? It's got the pace of hockey
there you go.
It goes
there
quick.
You go. Yes.
Yeah, you got the physicality of football, but it's nuances that kind of, you know, a little bit of a basketball strategy and a lot of hockey to it in an arena where everything's closer. So, and especially in these size arenas, everybody's right on top of it. And so when you talk about like the balls go in the stands, you get to keep them, right? Not like a regular football game. It's
exactly.
Yeah, it's something different.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Everybody around the franchise thinks this is the year you win a championship. Why, Nate? Why is this the year you win a championship?
I just think that the chemistry we have from all the way to the top to the bottom, and that's our feeling. You know what I'm saying? The way the guys gel, and you know what I'm saying. And that's the whole thing about this arena football, right? You only go as far as your team goes, and I feel like that's what we have. We have a team. It's not individuals. You know, we ain't got guys out here just trying to break records or nothing like that. We're just trying to win one game out a week.
Now, you've been in arena ball since 2012. You had a fantastic collegiate career at Ball State. You were drafted in the 5th round back in 2009. For you and your transition and your journey to falling in love with indoor football, what was that like for you at the beginning?
So at the beginning, I followed. So my brother played arena football for 8 years. So that's where I kind of fell into. You know what I'm saying? That's how I knew about arena. So he played Arena 1. So that's where I fell in love with arena football. I loved it. And another thing is the reason why I love arena football is indoors. So you ain't got to deal with no weather.
Not the truth.
You ain't got to deal with no weather.
Yep. The ball's not fluttering and you're not freezing. I think that's right. Hey,
that's it. You know what I'm saying? You know what you're going to get. You know what I'm saying? You know what you're going to get, and the weather's going to be nice. And another thing that what brought me into, you know what I'm saying, is the interaction with the fans. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the best things that I think that I love. Is that, you know, you get hit by the wall, there's a fan right there in your face. Yeah. They're not 20 yards away or nothing like that. You can celebrate with the fans, all that. So that's what I love about this game.
Yeah, no, it's a different game, and you kick off the home schedule against the Frisco Fighters out at the Rio Rancho Event Center, 6 o'clock on Saturday night. DukeCityGladiators.com is the website. You can go get the tickets. Hey, lastly, I want to ask you about this. It's Women's History Month, and you play for a woman owner, and that's a minority in the sports world, right? It's a male-dominated industry. And I know Gina is so passionate about, and I know we're relatively well, about this community and about the players. And obviously, you've been here for a number of years, so there's got to be something that's keeping you around. But just playing for, I don't know if you've ever played for a female owner before, if there's any difference or if it's just another person, she just happens to be a woman. But on Women's History Month, how is it playing for her?
So I played with the Emerald Venom, and we had a woman owner also, Stephanie Tucker. She was a woman owner. She's a little different. She was a little different than Gina. What I love about Gina is she's more of a players. You know what I'm saying? She's more about the players. That's what I love about Gina. She's more about the players. At the end of the day, this is a business. Gina treats us all as her kids. That's how she treats us all as her kids instead of just a business. You know what I'm saying? You know, because, of course, guys come in, guys come out. You know, and that's the difference that where Gina treats us all like her kids. That's why we're so close. That's why everybody's bought in this year, because they say, oh, okay, this is how she treats us. And, of course, people want to buy into things like that instead of, okay, you know, I've been with some owners where I've seen them maybe once or twice. That's the difference about Gina. Gina's just more bought into the whole thing. She's bought into everything we got going on, and that's why I think that we're going to be very great, because from the top to the bottom, everybody's bought in.
Yeah, I'm going to guess that's why he stuck around for all these years. Nate, congratulations on being healthy, first off. And it's good to see you back
Appreciate
out there. Congratulations on getting that first win. Good luck. I know we'll talk to you throughout the season. It's the Gladiators home opener. It is on Saturday out at the Rio Rancho Event Center.
So
against
for the
Frisco.
people who are Cowboys fans.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
People who are Cowboys fans. What's his name? Turpin.
Yep.
He will be at the game.
Yep.
He will be at the game.
Yep. So get out there and you'll be able to see him there as well. Devontae Turpin will be here as well. All right, my friend. Be well. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. I appreciate y'all.
See you. Nate Davis, the quarterback of the Gladiators. He's like 12. What did you say? He started 20 and 12 in arena football?
Yeah.
So he's on an 11-year career indoors, made a career out of this. He's terrific. And they got a pretty nice club, man. They got a pretty nice
Fun, man.
club.
I enjoy going to those games. It's great.
You been out there? I don't know anybody who's gone out there that just tells me, yeah, I don't like it. Like everybody who goes out there likes it.
No, it's awesome. If you haven't gone and I don't want to hear it's in Rio Rancho, just go out there.
Right.
Please.
Yeah, I agree. I can't agree.
I know, just some people are weird about that. If they live over here. Or up there. Or wherever.
Yeah, I know.
Everything's 15 minutes in this town.
Yeah,
Just go out there, 20 minutes.
Going to update you on anything, all the headlines that happened as we've been on the air this morning. I've got correspondence for you and what you need to know as your day goes on. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With your coverage from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at Golden Pride at abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future.
All right, what do you got to know moving on with your day? You got to know Tani's getting paid $65 million this year. You got to know that apparently Aaron Rodgers refused to return phone calls from Brian Gutekunst, the Packers general manager of the offseason. And I think that's what you got to know moving forward. Opening drive, Jeff, JJ, A. Marie. What a good day today was. It's been a good week, boys and girls. You know what I'm saying? All right, intentional or not, nice Rush reference. Appreciate you catching that. See? Look at that. That was intentional. When I said changes aren't permanent, but change is. Yeah. Add UTEP when San Diego State leaves, this says on the text line. What do you think of that? UTEP didn't get out of the Conference USA. The American didn't want them. Do you want UTEP? Does UTEP do anything for the Mountain West?
They're on the list.
Do you need to add anybody? If San Diego State leaves, you would be at 10 in basketball and 11 in football. Do you need to add anybody?
Need?
Yeah.
Not right away.
I totally agree with you.
You like to?
Well,
it all depends on the school.
All right, so let me give you.
And UTEP would not be immediate add in my book.
So let me tell you where I would go. If SMU doesn't get into the Pac-12, that'd be my first look. Okay. Is there anybody in the American you want? Does SMU and or North Texas do anything for you?
Where's North Texas?
It's right north of Dallas, is in Denton. It's the Metroplex. So it'd be two teams in the Metroplex. And I my argument for having two teams in the Metroplex as opposed to one would be neither one of them really dominates Dallas. So if you get two in there, it feels like you could then kind of entrench yourself in that market.
I like that.
Now, I don't know that they'd be interested in coming. I don't know where there's more money. Okay. Does Rice do anything for you? Do you want to get into Houston? Would you want one of the Metroplex teams and Rice?
No.
So you don't want Houston and Dallas because you don't feel like Rice does anything for you in Houston?
They would be lower on my whiteboard.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm just throwing stuff out. What's going to happen with Gonzaga? Do you think Gonzaga goes to the Pac-12? Big 12? Do they end up? Because I do. I think Gonzaga is going to end up being a non-football member of one of those two leagues. I don't know where I think they're going, but I just think there's too much there. Now, the geographical chasm between them and the Big 12 is real, and they've got to navigate that for their non-basketball sports, right? But, okay, so then you start looking, right? I mean...
At least they're not sending their volleyball team to New Jersey.
No, that's right. That's right. Who is it that was saying that? Oh, you know who I saw this... I don't know if I saw it in an article or in a tweet. J.D. Wicker, the athletic director at San Diego State, was talking about on the charter to Orlando for the first round of the NCAA tournament for San Diego State. And San Diego State's traveled more miles than anybody in the tournament. They went to Orlando, back home, Louisville, back home, and now Houston. But he said, 2.5 hours in, he says, I know it's a charter, but can you imagine doing this like every week for softball or for volleyball or for basketball like SC and UCLA is going to do? He says, I know it's a charter, but man, it's a lot of time on an airplane.
Oh, a long time on an airplane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And charters are nice. Now, I don't know if SC's volleyball team and softball team to go to Rutgers or go to Iowa.
It's a smaller play. It's not the
no, seriously,
not what the Lakers are using.
But where my argument on the Mountain West, and I don't know that they need to expand right away just to expand. I would look at some of those schools in the American in regards to, and I honestly don't know if it's more profitable for those two. Does Memphis do anything for you? Like, what about, honestly, SMU and Memphis would be like 1-2, right? Those are good brands in the American that would, but do they, what's in it for them? Is it worth it for them to come out west?
And it's, as they look at the new face of their league, do they feel that allows them to be the leaders in the conference, and they will take over and set the tone in the American?
FAU is going into that league, right? FAU is going into the American. That's now a basketball power, right?
They'll probably miss the tournament next year. So.
They may miss the tournament next year. Who knows? North Carolina won it last year and missed the tournament this year, right? It's not just them. It can happen to the Blue Bloods too.
Yeah, so I'm saying you're not scared if FAU's coming in. You're gonna be like, yeah, look at us. We got the Final Four team
right
coming in American. But I would think initially, if you're an SMU, if you're a North Texas, Memphis, you're like, oh, there's some changes, but now we are in the driver's seat. Yeah. This is gonna be our conference.
I don't know. Who you think is stronger? If you look at the American, take Houston, Central Florida, and Cincinnati out, right? So now they're comprised of the teams that stay in the American. It's Memphis, Tulane, Temple, Wichita State, non-football, South Florida, East Carolina, SMU, and Tulsa, adding FAU and UAB and North Texas and Rice. Does that league feel better to you than the Mountain West? There's more numbers, feels like more mouths to feed. I can't imagine that their television deal is going to be dramatically better. Their rights deal is going to be dramatically better than the Mountain West. All I'm telling you is I don't know that if and when San Diego State leaves, you'd love to fill that void with Southern California. I don't know how you do it now, right? What do you want in Southern California to fill that void? What's the best? You got to go non-football. What's the best non-football entity in Southern California at that point? And there's a chasm, right? What is it to you?
Schedule a couple non-conference games with Big West Coast Conference.
Well,
we can go to California.
Schedule with UCLA and San Diego State.
That's important to me. It's good road trips.
Well, I think just so much. I know. So true, though. Thank you to Gloria Nevadas. She is the commissioner of the Mountain West Conference. She's with us today. It's up on the podcast if you want to catch it. Do that everywhere you get a podcast. Nate Davis, a Gladiators quarterback, was with us as well. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowherd follows that. 2 Men On is your way at 4 o'clock. We're back with award-winning radio tomorrow morning beginning at 7 a.m. Adrian, appreciate all the video and all the stuff you put up. The content, it really enhances it. Thank you on the video side. A-Marie, great work today.
Thank you.
Big day for you.
Huge day.
Enjoy it, please. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With your covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am an Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a #1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of